Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No. Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
I'm not okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes, I don't like
right.
that.
You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It's Friday.
Yes. For Friday, we're going to do the Friday wave. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I thought we were going to do something else.
Okay.
Stephanie, the wave.
Oh, wait, I didn't know it started yet. You didn't. You just went.
Okay,
We're going to
quickly,
do it.
Let's go. We got a show to do.
Yeah, that was good.
I didn't know what we were doing.
Look, we have no idea.
They're not listening
We are
to you,
live.
Brandon. It's okay. Some things never change. It's Friday, August 16th. I'm here with Steph, Al, Brandon. I'm Sam. Tori has the day off. Let's get right to it. Well, retired NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are lucky to be alive right now after their private plane rolled off the runway after landing and burst into flames. Look at that in Tennessee yesterday. Dale's wife and their one-year-old daughter were also on board. I believe their dog as well. A witness saw Earnhardt being treated at the scene. Everyone on board is okay, including the pilots. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, and Al, I immediately thought about his dad, who died in a crash. I mean, it was a car crash, Daytona 500, but still, you think about that. Very scary.
I mean, when we got this news yesterday, obviously we see what the viewers see, and we only have the information that's given to us. And when I saw the plane, I didn't know he had been evacuated. And I think what a lot of people didn't hope for the worst. But you think the worst.
You do.
And I immediately thought of the Kennedys. I was like, are they going to be the new Kennedys in terms of like almost every generation has had some kind of incredible trauma placed on them, but I'm glad he's okay, and his little daughter as well, and his wife. So,
I am
and
too.
the pilots, everybody.
Think about being a race car driver. You put yourself in harm's way all the time, driving at 200 plus miles per hour for about 500 miles. But he's had something like this happen to him in 2004 when he got into an accident, and he said that the car was engulfed in flames, and he said that he felt something or someone pull him out.
Wow.
And video shows that no one was even around him, so his angel steps up again and pulls him out.
I'm a big believer in that.
You've dealt with that.
Yeah, so I didn't feel anyone touch me.
This was a car accident?
So I was in a car accident that was very, very dangerous, and in that moment I say I saw someone, I can't even remember what they looked like now, but I remember distinctly a female talking to me. She told me what to do, she told me where to hold my arms, and she said, do this and you'll be okay, and I did it, and I was fine. I walked out of a car wreck.
Was there a female at the scene?
No, there was no one there. There was a man in a truck that was skidding towards me, but there was no one else there.
Oh, Stephanie. Yeah, that's divine intervention.
Yeah,
Angels for sure. I believe in all of that. Wow. Thank you for sharing that story. The president is interested in buying Greenland. Trump has floated the idea several times and has reportedly looked into buying the island from the Danish government. But the idea got an icy response from Greenland's government, which said they're not for sale. This has happened twice before. The U.S. tried to acquire Greenland in 1867 and 1946. Okay, Al, is this a legacy thing? Like, when we acquired Alaska, is this resources? What is this?
I don't know what this is, but it's amazing when we have money and when we don't. When we hear about so many citizens, people I know personally, that are rationing their insulin.
Yes.
And, trying to give free lunch to kids that don't have it. Hey, we don't have any money, bro, sorry. But all of a sudden, when we're trying to buy a random island from a country that is not trying to sell it, now all of a sudden there's money allocated for that. So I just think it's such a weird juxtaposition.
But the reason, obviously, he wants it is because it's currently 80% covered in ice, and underneath that ice, there's oil, there are diamonds, there's iron. And obviously, with the climate right now, that ice is melting, which means mining those things is going to be very, very easy. So I think he's thinking of a very long-term investment.
But do you think the Danish don't know that?
I know, that's why they're like, back off. We don't want you
and
here.
if the ice caps have melted to the point where we're accessing the diamonds and everything,
not good,
guess
Sam.
what? We're gonna have bigger things
much bigger
to worry
problems.
about than getting, trust me, oil and gas.
diamonds.
Yeah. All right. Well, comedian Andy Dick was assaulted in New Orleans, and the attack was caught on camera. In the video, you see a man approach Andy Dick. He throws a punch at Andy's head. Oof. Andy falls to the ground as the man is seen leaving the scene. Andy says he was knocked unconscious for 15 minutes and had to be treated for a possible brain bleed. A 46-year-old man has been booked on second-degree battery. He claims that Andy grabbed his genitals before the attack. When I first saw this, Brandon, of course, this is, you think this is an egregious attack. It is, with a brain bleed. But knowing Andy Dick's history, and I'm not saying this is the case here, this is just being speculative considering that he
you
does
can bring
have a
up
history
when we're talking about a story.
He does have a history, a track record of, sexually assaulting actors on set, sexually assaulting young male models in nightclubs. Many people have come forward on social media talking about this, that this is, par for the course for Andy Dick. I'm sorry. I lose empathy there because if you sexually assaulted this man, he's going to defend himself.
Absolutely, Sam.
I'm not saying that's what happened, but
it's called your private parts for a reason.
Yeah.
And when you violate someone, you can be joking around. You can see stuff in the locker room and you see people playing around when it comes to certain things. But like we said this morning, Al, certain people don't play that. And when you violate someone in a private area like that, if this was the case, because this is all alleged right now, I can see why this happened.
I can too. And Steph, many people on social media are saying, well, there's no footage of him sexually assaulting him. And number two, if he did sexually assault him, why did it take this man so long to finally react? Speak to that as a young woman.
Okay, so I said this on the earlier show. Sadly, I think nearly every single one of the hosts this has happened to at some point or another, both male and female, which is awful. That is just a statistic that is not okay. But in that moment, when you have been violated in such a personal manner, you react in one of two ways. Either one, in that moment, you instantly lash out, which is something that I definitely have done in the past, or it takes you a moment just to compose yourself, gather your thoughts, question yourself.
Right.
Did that even just happen? And bear in mind, this is a famous figure. Did he just do that to me? Am I imagining? And then in that moment, if you're in a club or a bar, that person's gone.
Yes.
So I think in this case, I don't know. This is just my personal thoughts. I think he's gathered his thoughts and he's happened to see him again and he's gone after him. I don't condone what he did. I'd rather him confront him and say this is not okay, and make him feel bad.
Or get the police involved, but you get it. You understand it.
I'm not going to lie. Have I hit someone in the same situation? Yes, I have.
I have too. Same.
I'll be honest.
I know. All right, well, a 15-year-old girl from Fresno, California has been arrested for allegedly posting a threatening Snapchat with a photo of a gun and the message, "Don't come to school tomorrow." The Fresno police say they were notified by the FBI at 5 a.m. on Thursday, and by 6:30 a.m., police were able to track down a home where officers were dispatched. When police got there, they spoke with the teen's aunt while the teen was pulled out of class and met by authorities. They say the girl admitted to the post and has been charged with making a terroristic threat. Police also confiscated the pellet gun. Now, Al, we're seeing things happen fast in real time. We've talked about red flags on social media and we want to see action. This is action.
Right. I mean, I wonder more if this was a call for help. I don't know if this is a threat so much as she's saying, I'm hurting inside and I'm willing to hurt other people. It's interesting that they called her aunt rather than her parents.
Right.
I don't know what her situation is, but that might have something to do with this.
Right.
This seems like a person that's deeply troubled. And I know people are like, well, we caught her, let's put her away. It's like, what does that do?
Rehabilitate her.
What does that do for our society? Because she's going to come out, if we don't rehab her, she's going to come out 8-10 years more hardened.
I agree with Al.
He's being practical. When you're practical, I get it. You're speaking as a grown man, but speak as a parent, Al. What if she was willing to follow through on this threat?
So well, he's not saying she gets off scot-free. He's saying that she should be taken out of that school and put in a facility where she's not behind bars, but perhaps rehabilitated with some mental health.
But they're also saying, these reports are also saying, this was a smart girl. This was a girl who was getting good grades.
Doesn't mean that no one's discriminated for mental illness does not discriminate.
No.
You can be smart, you can be beautiful, you can be rich, you can be famous. It doesn't discriminate.
But in this day and age, you willing to put that on Snapchat, knowing what we've been through when it comes to school shootings and mass shootings. I understand there may be something there.
I don't know.
How would you handle it?
Yeah, what do you do? Just lock them up and then they never see the light of day?
I would want to rehabilitate her as well, but at the same time, I can't just look at it like, oh, this is someone crying out for help. I think this is more than crying out for help. This is someone who's willingly doing that. She knows what she's doing. I don't think this is just some random kid doing this. So.
But I just want to say thank you, obviously, to Snapchat for making the authorities aware. We've discussed that so many times. Social media doesn't take responsibility.
And
they acted on it.
Police,
thank you to the FBI. And also yesterday, we saw another police troop that were facing a very difficult situation where members were gunned down, and they dealt with it so well. And again, here, so well. So it gives you so much faith in the system that people do the right thing. It's amazing.
Well said. Well said. Speaking of police, the Honolulu police are on the hunt right now for this worst of the week. A woman was caught on surveillance video vandalizing a sand sculpture at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel.
Went after the little girl first.
Yep, you can see her climb over the barrier. She tears the sculpture's head off. She looks like she might be a little inebriated, Al.
You think so? I mean, first of all, that throw was embarrassing. I think that was the most embarrassing thing in that whole video. I know, but then don't attack a sand sculpture that's not moving.
But look at a friend. A friend's, I think, encouraging her because she's filming. She's obviously egging her on. She's
and
like,
smoking a cigarette too. Look.
Yeah,
have a good time.
If they're like 21, I give them a pass. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't have to face repercussions. They should have to pay for the damage. They should have to build their own sand sculpture, do what they have to do. But if this is like a 40-year-old, this is a different issue.
Those women are old enough.
Can you imagine if I did that at 40 years old?
If you're old enough to book a hotel in Hawaii, you're old enough to know not to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's not fair.
How is that not fair?
They could be 21.
They could be. Well, I booked hotels at 21.
You're a grown-up at 21.
Yes.
I don't think it's right, but I'm just saying that everyone makes
you could be a college graduating at 21.
She's not saying they shouldn't face repercussions. She's just saying maybe Steph and Sam at 20
I've made some silly mistakes.
Those women were not 21. They were in their mid to late 20s. They were older, and they knew better because they ran. So she obviously knew what she did. She embarrassed herself with a throw. She almost fell off that. She almost fell off the barrier.
I would have liked it better if she did. I'm not gonna lie.
She lost to emotion.
What'd you say, Steph?
I would have liked it a lot more if she did fall over. I'd have said, like, that's karma right there.
Yeah, it is.
DBL's Live. Coming up, re-envisioning an old classic. Hollywood Squares is now Hip Hop Squares. The host of the game show reveals the celebs in the new season. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. In this digital age, should parents have to ask their kids for permission before posting photos of them online? We're sharing your comments next.
Continuing the discussion about the young lady that posted the picture of the, on Snapchat about her saying don't come to school tomorrow, and obviously there was a threat of a gun in there. And, you know, we're just going, you know, we can speak objectively, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, we can speak objectively because we're sitting here at this panel and you guys are at home watching, but I mean, if it's your kid's school, if it's my kid's school, maybe I'm not practical in that situation. I mean, you know, you're already terrified. It's your worst nightmare. And then to see somebody so brazenly just casually bring it up on, you know, not even just a vague threat like, yeah, I might do this. It just goes to show you how guns embolden people.
I know.
And just like, like everybody feels like they're Zeus. Like, if I don't want you to exist anymore, I won't. And it's crazy because a 15-year-old girl would never do that without knowing that she could have easy access to firearms.
And I want to go more on the path with you all that I'm hoping it was more of a cry for help instead of some sort of mental illness, because I feel like people want to throw out mental illness right away. Well, maybe she was mentally ill. But the reports are saying she's good in school. She's a good girl in school. She gets good grades and all.
Like when I went through postpartum depression, like I still came to work every day, still was on point, still did my job. So I think, you know, there's definitely varying degrees of mental illness, and one, you know, being a sociopath or a psychopath is definitely going to be different from a girl suffering from depression.
Yeah.
But I still think if this is a girl calling out for help, then she's probably severely depressed. Who knows? Could be the exact opposite. We could be dealing with somebody very dangerous. But at the very least, I think we owe it to this young girl to find out what's wrong with her. I'm not saying put her back in that school, but find out what's wrong with her, what's going on with the family situation. And I think if you can rehabilitate her, that's the goal.
So now, going forward, if you two are parents and now you know that she's been transferred to your kid's school, now what? How do you feel about that?
That's the problem.
That's the problem. I would want to see what the rehabilitation is and how much time has gone by.
I think homeschooling.
I know.
I don't know.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for 5th Host. When we talk about what you're talking about, parents who always post pics of their children online are being called sharenters. Some love the cute kid pics on their timeline and some don't. Now, some experts say sharing these photos without the child's consent could be harmful and dangerous because of predators, and that future embarrassment could lead to bullying. So DBL Nation, when is it okay to share photos of your child online, and should you ask them for permission? Take it away, Brandon.
Pop it off. Here we go. Terry from Facebook says, yes, at a certain age, you should start asking your kids permission. It will teach them how to set boundaries early on. Terry, I'm going to tell you what my mom told me. I didn't ask you for permission for these stretch marks, so I look at it as a situation where you're the mother, you're the
This
parent.
ad sponsored by cocoa butter.
But I just be mindful that there are people out there who are looking at these pictures in a predatorial manner.
All right. I'm recovering from the stretch marks comment, but I'm a broadcast professional. Mike from Facebook says, it depends on the picture. The first day of school and big events, okay to post without permission. But random photos that could embarrass them should be off limits. Mike, I like the way you're going there. Don't forget, everything on the internet is written in ink, meaning it's there forever. So, I mean, embarrassing pictures that you might find cute, I mean, your kid's social circle might make fun of them for that. So you need to be cognizant of that before you post anything. So maybe do ask.
Harriet from Facebook says, I'm teaching my kids how to stand up for themselves early on, so I don't need to ask them silly questions like this. If they don't like it, they'll tell me. I appreciate that you're teaching them how to stand up for themselves, but I wouldn't want to put my kid in a position from my, I don't want to use the word selfishness, but something that, let's say I see a cute picture of them in the bath and I think it's the cutest thing ever and I put it out there on the internet and expect my kid to defend themselves at a later date because of my action that I chose over what I wanted to do rather what's best for them.
You would feel terrible.
I'd feel really bad.
It's a selfless decision.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you need to remove yourself from it, and even though it's something that you love and you think is amazing and beautiful and what a special moment, it might not always be right for someone else.
Agreed. Janie from Facebook says, I'm a responsible parent and what I say goes and I post what I want. Plus, my social media accounts are private. If someone's going to bully your child, they are going to bully your child. I think this comes to extreme, like meaning I post pictures of my daughter Sophie seldomly. It's not that often, but when I do, it's more of these like milestone moments. And I think some parents, it does seem to be like 10 photos in a row, and it could be their child in the bath. It could be them eating spaghetti. I think that tends to be a little bit much, in my opinion.
It's like your kid, your food, your dog. All those things are very cute to you. And so unless your dog's doing something amazingly cute, or your kid, or you have this incredible meal in front of you, just maybe keep that to yourself or send it to people that probably want to see it.
But first days of school and birthdays, I want to see that with my friends. I want to celebrate their child with them.
Yeah, very cool. Yep. Well, the car belonging to James Bond, just found a new owner. Raquel, share the details.
Well, Sam, it's the type of car Sean Connery used in Goldfinger and Thunderball. So take a look at this 1965 Aston Martin DB5. It just sold for a record $6.4 million. Now, this is fully restored and it's fit for the next 007. It includes 13 fully functional gadgets like an ejector seat, nail dispenser, and a rotating license plate. And it's one of only 4 cars made for the James Bond franchise. And one of them actually mysteriously disappeared and has yet to be found.
Wow. I actually have a claim to fame. I was in one of the original James Bond cars.
Was it amazing?
It was amazing.
Was it fast?
We wasn't really allowed to drive it fast. We just kind of drove around very slowly, but it was beautiful. I'll have to get you guys a picture. It's really beautiful.
Please do.
It was so cool though. It was amazing.
Sam, I've got a birthday coming up.
Okay,
FYI.
sure.
Okay.
Let me go get it for you.
Thank you.
I'll just take one of the bros with that. I'll take a regular car with an ejector seat. That's just to have that hanging over your partner's head.
Can you imagine?
You just have your finger. Hey, don't make me push it.
That's awesome. Coming up on DBL, we're getting the behind-the-scenes scoop on the VH1 game show Hip Hop Squares. If you loved Hollywood Squares, this one's for you.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here, and Chris and I saw Good Boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't even know how to start this. It's about a group of 12-year-old boys who one of them really wants to go to a kissing party, and there's a lot of melee along the way. It involves drones, it involves drugs, and it involves a lot of stuff that I don't think 12-year-olds should be into, but I know they're into, and I'm kind of freaked out because I don't want to think about my future kids being like this, but they are.
Pulls back the curtain.
So were boys growing up, were boys really like that?
It's also about the pursuit of drugs by high schoolers or college students? High schoolers.
High schoolers, yeah.
Yes, the pursuit of drugs.
It's kind of like a social commentary, I'd say, because I feel guilty for having fun the entire time.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I was like, this is pretty funny, but it has a lot to say. And I have to say my favorite part is that the boys were really respectful of women. I don't know if that was meant to be a joke in it, but I really liked that they are really enforcing that in movies these days. But what did you think of it?
Well, I mean, that part of it, I think, was just really showing off the difference in education in public schools today as to when we were kids. So all the boys were like, do I have consent before I kiss you? Before he got his first kiss? And, you know, but they did poke fun at the short-term relationships of middle school. So there's just flashing from one girlfriend to another. He's crying. It's the best. But, yeah, the movie was great. Just a lot of, I would say, if you like South Park, if you like grotesque, raunchy humor, you'll love this movie.
It's a lot of that.
So if you're looking for a movie to go out to see, you're going on a date on a weekend night, you want to laugh, this is the one.
You kind of described it as like a modern day Stranger Things.
Yes, it's like Stranger.
Welcome back to DBL. VH1 has re-envisioned the classic game show Hollywood Squares in exciting ways. I got a chance to sit down with comedian and host of Hip Hop Squares, my boy, Mr. D. Ray Davis, in today's Spotlight. Do me a favor, check it out. D. Ray Davis, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Having a blast on the daily, you know.
That's what I like to hear, man. You need to come out here to Denver and come on the show, man. You have an open invite here. You are family.
I appreciate it, man. I was mad I wasn't able to get out there, but we're moving the dates around, and with all the filming and everything, and including this, even including what I'm here for now, Hip Hop Squares, it's just Denver, man. I'm usually there once a year, and I missed it. I love it out there, too.
Obviously, you're famous from comedy, famous from movies, all that good stuff, but you were also famous, my brother, for dating 2 women. So what is the secret you can tell everybody to keep 2 women happy?
I'll say honesty is very important, you know, being honest about a lot of stuff. Honesty, because a lot of men lie about stuff.
That's
and
true.
I think friendship is important. At the end of the day, as much as I've joked about it and portrayed like, oh, it's a play, I just do that for it. Realistically, man, women do what they want to do. There's no controlling them. You can't tell a woman what to do with their bodies. You can't tell a woman what to do. So all you can do is be receptive and be respectful. All of us lovingly know that we want each other to succeed in life more than anything.
I appreciate you, and I'm going to play what you just said for my girl. But let's get to the show that we came here to talk about. I'm excited about this.
And now, here's your host, D. Ray.
What guests are you most excited for this season on Hip Hop Squares?
I love when the boss is on there. Rick Ross, he's always, laid back. What up, what up, what up? Ice Cube and those guys. Of course, the ladies, man. You know I want to see the ladies, man. Why you asking me that? You see Eva walking, but Eva married, that's a married woman. I can't speak on the married women like that, man. Jordan Woods, of course, is beautiful. Ray J's there clowning.
Stop. Now take it to the other side.
Michael Blackson is there. Lil Duval is there. Danielle Harrington, have you seen Sports Illustrated? Come on, man.
I read Sports Illustrated for the articles, D. Ray.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant her interview.
We got you, man. Good luck. This show's gonna be a smash hit. But can't wait to see it on our TVs, man. Ladies and gentlemen, D. Ray Davis.
Al J, thanks, man.
You can catch Hip Hop Squares Tuesday nights on VH1. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Showing me football plays. There's a player named Dwayne Haskins, plays for the Washington, the Ohio State football team. He made a great throw, and he's one of those guys. Every year, Brandon, I know our audience doesn't care about football, but I think it's more about it goes to how people are wired. There's always a guy that gets passed up, and for whatever reason, maybe something happened, and people were worried about their personality, and they just come in the league with a chip on their shoulder. And I think that's a good way to approach life.
Yeah, and what I hated was when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones at number 6 and they passed on Haskins. Haskins was on his phone. He kind of gave like a little, and then everyone's like, "Look how cocky he is. Look how you should humble yourself. That's why you slid to 17. Like if you go 17th or wherever he went in the draft. You go first round. That's a blessing in itself. So, I mean, it's just I can't wait. I'm so glad that football is here. I know I come from a football family because I was talking to my grandmother yesterday, who's the mother of my father, who's a football coach, and she goes, "Boy, I tell you, I'm so glad football is back because I am tired of baseball." I'm like, I know I'm in a football family. I know.
Steph, show everybody, this is the card that Steph wrote in. Can you zoom in on this?
This is the James
Steph,
Bond card. I don't remember what movie it was from. I really can't remember, but I did a TV show on it. That was me in the car. Obviously not a great picture, but there we go. And also there was a boat as well that he used in a movie, which is this one.
Oh, is this the car?
Oh, this is the boat that it was used.
Did you get to go in the boat too?
There was only 4 of them made as well. I didn't remember any of it. I've got such a bad memory.
Me too. I don't remember anything.
But yeah, this is the car. That was the car.
That's nice.
I'm sure if we Googled it and put the license plate, it would say what movie it was from.
See, that's one of those cars I don't want to drive. I want to drive her. Like if I get a Bentley or an Aston Martin or something, I don't want to drive that.
I had like such a cool weekend, and like I flew this helicopter. Look, I don't know if you guys can see. I flew this helicopter. It was sick.
You piloted it?
I got to like go for like a minute.
My favorite James Bond movie, I think, was Casino Royale.
Yeah,
that's the one when he was in the Bahamas and stuff. Yeah, that was the best one.
That was actually that was me in with the pilot flying.
I'm more of a Jason Bourne guy than a James Bond guy.
I heard the John Wick series. Everybody says they're the best.
They said the first John Wick.
Look at the awful outfit they made me wear. It was awful.
I gotta get into it, but people love it.
Just to show, the outfit was awful. Look what they made me wear for it, though.
Don't you love her?
House Nanny are you?
I want to like be her. Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we got, Al?
All right, Sam, let's check it out. Our boy Michael Loveland says the Aston Martin DB5 is historic. Has anybody looked in Sean Connery's garage?
Ooh.
Steph, and you have a picture. We'll post it on your. You're going to post it on your Instagram story, maybe?
Yeah, I will do. I'll send it in.
What's your handle so people can take a look at the car you?
Steph F.R. Jones, but I don't know if you guys can see. You can't see from there, can you? But anyway,
it's cool.
You guys can see. That was one of the original James Bond cars. It was really cool.
And in what context were you in that car?
Show it to 2.
Oh, so much pressure.
Come on.
Wait,
do it like James Bond would do it.
I can't press all the things at once.
There we go.
Wow. We'll see you Monday, guys. Have a great weekend.
Nice shot.
Oh wait, I'm not holding it straight. Wow, that's quite difficult.
That was cool.
I couldn't. You were like, what context did you like press it? No.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here, and Chris and I saw Good Boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't even know like how to start this. It's about a group of 12-year-old boys who one of them really wants to go to a kissing party, and there's a lot of melee along the way. It involves drones, it involves drugs, and it involves a lot of stuff that I don't think 12-year-olds should be into, but I know they're into, and I'm kind of freaked out because I don't want to think about my future kids being like this, but they are.
Pulls back the curtain.
So like we're boys, like growing up, were boys really like that?
It's also about the pursuit of drugs by high schoolers or college students? High schoolers.
High schoolers, yeah.
Yes, the pursuit of drugs.
It's kind of like a social commentary, I'd say, because I feel guilty for having fun the entire time.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I was like, this is pretty funny. But it has a lot to say. And I have to say my favorite part is that the boys were really respectful of women. I don't know if that was meant to be a joke in it, but I really liked that they are really enforcing that in movies these days. But what did you think of it?
Well, I mean, that part of it, I think, was just really showing off the difference in education in public schools today as to when we were kids. So all the boys were like, do I have consent before I kiss you? Before he got his first kiss? And, you know, but they did poke fun at the short-term relationships of middle school. So there's just flashing from one girlfriend to another. He's crying. It's the best. But yeah, the movie was great. Just a lot of, I would say, if you like South Park, if you like grotesque, raunchy humor, you'll love this movie.
It's a lot of that.
So if you're looking for a movie to go out to see, you're going on a date on a weekend night, you want to laugh, this is the one.
You kind of described it as like a modern day Stranger Things.
Yes, it's like Stranger Things today.
We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL, Erica Cobb. We need it today. It is Friday. Yes, girl. August 16th. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al. I am Sam. Let's get right to it. Well, retired NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are lucky to be alive right now after their private plane rolled off the runway after landing. Look at that. Burst into flames in Tennessee yesterday. Dale's wife and their 1-year-old daughter were also on board. A witness saw Earnhardt being treated at the scene. Everyone on board is okay, including the pilots. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. And I immediately thought about his father, Jeff, considering that his dad died in a crash. I know it was a car crash in Daytona 500, but still. But thank God they are all okay.
Yeah, they got out. When I saw these pictures, when I first saw these pictures, I'm like, that does not look good.
You didn't think
and then I heard his family was on board and his 1-year-old daughter. So I saw this yesterday. These were the pictures that came out. Oof. But thank God they all got out before it burst into flames. So that was all precautionary. The pilots and everything, everyone's safe. But when I saw those photos, I did not have a good feeling about it.
I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, I was so happy to hear they got out, you know, but good on them. I mean, it's just scary. I just hope that they understand that they've experienced trauma, and just because they survived doesn't mean that they still don't need to seek mental help, because, I mean, this is going to haunt them, you know, forever.
Well, this isn't the first time for Dale Earnhardt Jr. either. So
in 2004, his car crashed.
Right. So, I mean, we were still on the air, and I said to Jeff, I was like, well, Senior was looking out, because when you have those things happen, it's like, remember he said there was a presence?
He said someone pulled him out physically.
Yeah.
But nobody did in the footage. You can look back at the footage, and no one pulled him out, but he remembers being physically pulled out of that vehicle.
In both occasions, right?
I
Even
know.
on the plane, too.
Yes,
yeah.
Same thing. And this is a very lucky situation, too, that where they crashed, they were still able to use that exit door. If that would have been barricaded by a fence or been flipped onto it, who knows what would have happened. So luck all the way around, that's for sure. Right. Well, the president is interested in buying Greenland. Trump has floated the idea several times and has reportedly looked into buying the island from the Danish government, but it got an icy response from Greenland's government, which said they're not for sale. This has happened twice before. The U.S. tried to acquire Greenland in 1867 and 1946, Erica. So what do you make of this? Resources there, a legacy thing for him?
I don't know what to make of it, Sam. Out of everything that's happening in this country, I mean, but you know, people come to my house and ask me to buy it all the time. So, and it's not for sale. I don't get it.
Doesn't it seem like something you would say, like if you woke your partner up at like 3 in the morning, they just said something random like, I want to buy Greenland, and then they just go back to bed. It doesn't sound like a real thing, but like looking at those photos, I'm sorry.
There's massive natural resources.
There's got to be natural resources.
This might be my last show. I might be going.
Oil and
I might be going to Greenland, Sam. Did you see those pictures? You could tell there's no rush hour traffic.
Beautiful.
It's like, what are you in a hurry for in Greenland? There's nothing happening here.
Like 50,000 people that live there. Right. It's all self-governed.
Sadly,
they don't want to have
if we acquired that, this is sad, we'd go there and trash that place.
Well, that's what happened to Iceland. They kind of stopped when tourists come because they got overrun. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, comedian Andy Dick was assaulted in New Orleans, and the attack was caught on camera. In the video, you see a man approach Andy Dick. He throws a punch at Andy's head, and Andy falls to the ground as the man is seen leaving the scene. Andy says he was knocked unconscious for 15 minutes and had to be treated for a possible brain bleed. A 46-year-old man has been booked on second-degree battery. He claims that Andy grabbed his genitals before the attack. Now, Erica, of course, when I first saw that video, I thought, what an egregious attack. But then, knowing Andy Dick's history, not to say that this is the case here, but knowing that he has a history of sexually assaulting people on set, sexually assaulting people in nightclubs. I've actually been witness to some of those sexual assaults. When you know that this person has been known as a sexual predator, and then he strikes someone, Erica, what would you do if somebody came up and did that to you? Would you fight back?
You know, now I think, you know what? Out of respect for situations I've been in the past and situations that people can relate to, I'm going to say I don't know what I would do in the moment, because when you're in the moment, you react differently than anything you could ever prepare for. However, when I heard Andy Dick's name come up, I was like, who did he touch? Right. What did he do? Because that's the reputation that he has. I think violence is never the answer, but sometimes people need to learn the hard way, and maybe this is his lesson. Clearly, it's like someone who continues to drive drunk. It's never the first time. It's a pattern of how many times you've done it until, and then all of a sudden you have to learn all of the consequences of your actions in a very dramatic way. This is his dramatic way.
Yeah, and I should say these are just allegations, and I should also say that there's no video, there's no footage of Andy Dick sexually assaulting that man in the club, leading other people to say, well, you know, even if you're sexually assaulted 10 minutes before or right at that moment, people still are going to react, whether it's in the moment or an hour later.
Right, and I disagree with that. You know what I mean? I'm all about cause and reaction. You cause something, you're going to get a reaction from me. If he would have grabbed him in line and the guy turned around and punched him in his face, again, I don't condone this, I would have said that's fine. The guy was walking down the street. Andy Dick wasn't even looking. When did he grab him? 10 minutes, 15, a half hour? I don't know how long before. And blindly punches someone? I mean, you could kill somebody like that. Yeah. So, I mean,
listen, I understand what you're saying. And of course, I do not condone violence either. I do not like even looking at this footage. It grosses me out. But I have been groped in a nightclub, and then a half hour later, many times. And a half hour later, I'm fuming. So mad that POS thought that he could grope me so violently, so aggressively, to the point where he lifted me off the ground. So you better believe that a half hour later, I went over there and I did do something.
That's
so
fine.
It took me a half an hour.
But you didn't blindly, when he wasn't looking, smash him with something. You know what I mean? It's like if he would have went up to his face. Listen, these are the rules of the street. I'm not talking any sense here. Obviously, but if you would have went up to his face and be like, hey, man, you grabbed me earlier, and then punch him out, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I know, again, I'm not condoning this. That's not the right answer.
Going to the police, going to the police is the right answer. Not resulting to violence isn't the right, or is not the right answer either. But I just think sometimes, you know, you can understand situations when you understand someone's pattern of behavior. That's all I'm saying. And again, these are all allegations. A 15-year-old girl from Fresno, California, has been arrested for allegedly posting a threatening Snapchat with a photo of a gun and the message, "Don't come to school tomorrow." The Fresno police say they were notified by the FBI at 5 a.m. on Thursday, and by 6:30 a.m. police were able to track down a home where officers were dispatched. When police got there, they spoke with the teen's aunt. While the teen was pulled out of class and met by authorities, they say the girl admitted to the post and has been charged with making a terroristic threat. Police also confiscated this pellet gun. Al, we've always talked about red flags on social media and how we hope that they swiftly act. We're seeing some action here.
Right, finally. And I mean, it's sad that this woman was hurting so bad that she felt that this is the only way that she could let people know. And I mean, you look at, I don't know if this has to do with anything, but the fact that they immediately reached out to her aunt rather than either one of her parents at 15 years old means that she's estranged from her initial parents for whatever reason. We don't know. But it just seems like there's a young lady with a lot of problems. And I looked at this as a cry for help, and I just hope that we can intervene in this person's life, because I don't believe in throwing somebody away at 15 years old for doing something even this stupid.
Yeah, I have to disagree with this. Yeah. And I understand your logic, and that's probably more sensible than me, but I do want to applaud the police department for getting on top of this so quickly. And working together, because I've always said there's a problem with social media, and they need to work that together, and it seems like they're figuring that out too. So I applaud both parties in this. I think an example needs to be made here. This is not the era to be messing around and posting things like this. A hard lesson needs to be learned here to put out to the rest of the world. We don't mess around. You do something like this, you're going away. I don't care if you're 12, I don't care if you're 8, I don't care if you're 42.
But does going away mean behind bars, or meaning like mental rehabilitation, like a John Davis? Remember when John came here?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but you cannot
go back
be posting
to
this.
Agreed.
Whether it's a threat, whether it's a joke, whether it's a misunderstanding, in this sensitive time that we live in, it can't be had.
Erica?
I think it's time for simulation.
Yeah.
We did simulation for drunk driving, for prom. All the seniors were required to be there. I think the schools need to simulate how this happens, because when kids are growing and their brains are still developing, everyone wants to talk hypotheticals. This is what would happen if there was an active shooter. This is what this person looks like. And we all have very, very specific parameters for what we think. But in the moment, again, we don't know how that happens and what we would do. I think if they did simulation of a real, actual attempt at an active shooter.
So not a drill where they hide under their desk,
like
but a
something
simulation
where you actually see, because we did it out like in a football field, and you see the whole thing play out. You can see like every single step of it, because then it's not hypothetical. When this girl goes away, everyone's going to be speculating about what happened to her. No one really knows what happened to her. Maybe people should know what happens to her after that. So it's not this like unicorns and fairies or like Rose's thing that her life has been ruined.
Like she went and got help, right? Nobody knows what that means.
Exactly.
But if they find out that she there's a blemish on her record,
she's in a facility. She has 3 square meters.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I know.
It's not going to be unicorns and fairies.
No, I think you're right. I think everybody needs to know that the repercussions are grand to prevent others from doing it. DBL's live coming up. Elizabeth Smart's 64-year-old father comes out. So what's next for this family that's gone through so much? Then re-envisioning an old classic Hollywood Squares is now hip-hop squares. Cool. The host of the game show reveals the celebs in the new season. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. In this digital age, should parents have to ask their kids for permission before posting photos of them online? We're sharing your comments next. Erica mentioned that in her school they did simulations for DUIs, prom. We never did that at my school.
Yeah, so what they did was all of the seniors were required to go to a assembly. And we started out with pre-prom, they're getting ready, all of this stuff, like everything that's normal.
Who? Like you? Like they actually give you like a role?
So yeah, there's different classmates are acting in this. So they go to prom, then someone in the group gets drunk, then we move out to the football field, and everything is like unveiled, where there's a wreck, and there's like kids like thrown out of the vehicles. The helicopter came in and like flew Flight for Life. Like it was a big production.
Did it change the way you thought?
Well, for me, one of my childhood friends was killed when our freshman year in high school by a drunk driver. So like for me, that was never an option.
So that scared you,
right? But for some of my friends, like I was always the designated driver because they didn't understand that there were ramifications for drunk driving. Yeah. So that definitely, I think, scared a lot of people straight. But sometimes you get this like idea in your head that it's not as serious as it really is, and when you see like your classmate and like the makeup and stuff like laid out on the middle of the field and the ambulance is coming in, it just makes you believe that it's a real thing. Right.
And you remember this too? Did you have this, Jeff? I did.
No. They had at my school, my high school, they brought the guy in the orange jumpsuit with the class, and he talked to us about drunk driving.
And it was the actual guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he came in from jail and they took him back to jail. But he came in the chains and jumpsuit and talked to our high school about it.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for 5th host when we talk about what you're talking about. Parents who always post pics of their children online are being called Sharenters. Some love the cute kid pics on their timeline, some not so much. Now, some experts say sharing these photos without the child's consent could be harmful and dangerous because of predators, and that future embarrassment can lead to bullying. So DBL Nation, when is it ever okay to share photos of your child online, and should you ask them for permission? Take it away, Al.
All right, Sam. Jerry from Facebook says this is just another example of coddling our youth too much. They're my kids. I won't post any pictures that could harm them. Jerry, I would just take it a step further and just be like, hey, look, you post a picture on the first day of school, maybe a birthday, maybe one other cute thing, but remember, they're your kids, it's your house, it's your food, it's your dog. Most people don't want to see it, and if I see 3 of those in my timeline in a row, you're getting the big M.
I feel you.
I don't want to mute you. Don't make me mute you.
Yeah.
I'll mute you, and I'll mute your story.
Maria from Facebook says, I don't ask my kids permission because they're too little to understand. But maybe once they get older, I'll start asking what they think. I don't know what I would do if they said no. I guess you would have to honor it if you asked them. But I think the flip side of asking a child if they want to be posted constantly and reacting to the camera in that way is that you have a child who's super hyper aware that they can make things happen through being animated in front of a camera. For me, I turned out okay. I was one of those kids. No, but you may not want that either.
All right, Andy from Facebook says, my teens won't let me post any pics of them anymore, but it's their face, so I have to respect that. This seems like an obvious yes. You know, I kind of struggle with this too. My kids are very young right now, so I think it's okay. It's my, it's my Instagram or whatever you want to call it. When they get a little bit older, I think I'm going to, start killing that a little bit, just because it is their life. I don't want to do anything to embarrass them in the future. But I do want to say one thing. Sharenters, that name stinks.
Nance from Facebook says, of course you should ask. If your kids don't want their pictures on social media, just make a scrapbook instead. I just got to echo your sentiment.
Sharenters?
Not only that, everything you said is so honest and real. That's exactly how I feel. I want to share those moments of my daughter with the people that follow me on Instagram, especially family members and parents. But at the end of the day, when Sophie's in a few years, if she's not into it, I got to pull back.
Yeah, because I don't want people, I want to separate what I do from my children, and because I don't want people come up and be like, hey, Lawson, when he's old enough to understand, like, how do you know my name?
I think you're right.
I fight that.
Do you guys think we're asking this question backwards? Because I feel like now a lot of people I know that are in their 40s, maybe they had kids when they were like 25, so their kid's 15 and now they're 40, and they're posting like really kind of scandalous pictures and like pictures of them drunk or in Vegas, and I'm like,
I haven't seen that one.
You're teenage. You haven't seen any.
But I've seen like the little itty bitty bikini pictures.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
oh, your son follows you, bro. Like I don't know if I could do that.
I know.
I don't know if I'm with that.
You sound old.
I'm with you, man.
I don't know if I want to see my mom like that, Like, it's crazy.
I know. Coming up on DBL, sometimes the most annoying people in our lives are our significant others. We're going to share our pet peeves, but first, we're getting the behind-the-scenes scoop on the VH1 game show, Hip Hop Squares. If you loved Hollywood Squares, this one's for you.
Hey guys, today I am going to be trying my first ever corn dog. I've never seen a corn dog, I've never smelled a corn dog, tasted a corn dog, ever. The only time I've really heard about a corn dog, I think, if I'm correct, was when Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman said, let's pop a squat and eat a corn dog. That might be completely incorrect. I'm sure you guys will write in and let me know. But let the corn dog commence. Okay, so this is my first look at a corn dog. It looks slightly questionable, but I'm gonna sniff it. It kind of smells like it should taste like a donut. Okay, it's not hot, so I'm just gonna go for it. Do I just bite in? Just bite in? Just bite in. Oh, you know what? That's all right. It tastes kind of a little sweet. It tastes like a hot dog with sweet, chewy bread. You know what? With a bit of ketchup, I would rate this quite highly. 7 out of 10. To all the corn dog lovers out there, I salute you and I join the club.
Welcome back to DBL. VH1 has re-envisioned the classic game show Hollywood Squares in exciting ways. I got a chance to sit down with comedian and host of Hip Hop Squares, my boy, Mr. D. Ray Davis, in today's Spotlight. Do me a favor, check it out. D. Ray Davis, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Having a blast on the daily, you know.
That's what I like to hear, man. You need to come out here to Denver and come on the show, man. You have an open invite here. You are family.
I appreciate it, man. I was mad I wasn't able to get out there, but we're moving the dates around, and with all the filming and everything, and including this, even including what I'm here for now, Hip Hop Squares, it's just Denver, man. I'm usually there once a year, and I missed it. I love it out there, too.
Obviously, you're famous from comedy, famous from movies, all that good stuff, but you were also famous, my brother, for dating 2 women. So what is the secret you can tell everybody to keep 2 women happy?
I'll say honesty is very important, you know, being honest about a lot of stuff. Honesty, because a lot of men lie about stuff.
That's
and
true.
I think friendship is important. At the end of the day, as much as I've joked about it and portrayed like, oh, it's a play, I just do that for it. Realistically, man, women do what they want to do. There's no controlling them. You can't tell a woman what to do with their bodies. You can't tell a woman what to do. So all you can do is be receptive and be respectful. All of us lovingly know that we want each other to succeed in life more than anything.
I appreciate you, and I'm going to play what you just said for my girl. But let's get to the show that we came here to talk about. I'm excited about this.
And now, here's your host, D. Ray.
What guests are you most excited for this season on Hip Hop Squares?
I love when the boss is on there. Rick Ross, he's always, laid back. What up, what up, what up? Ice Cube and those guys. Of course, the ladies, man. You know I want to see the ladies, man. Why you asking me that? You see Eva walking, but Eva married, that's a married woman. I can't speak on the married women like that, man. Jordan Woods, of course, is beautiful. Ray J's there clowning.
Stop. Now take it to the other side.
Michael Blackson is there. Lil Duval is there. Danielle Harrington, have you seen Sports Illustrated? Come on, man.
I read Sports Illustrated for the articles, D. Ray.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant her interview.
We got you, man. Good luck. This show's gonna be a smash hit. But can't wait to see it on our TVs, man. Ladies and gentlemen, D. Ray Davis.
Al J, thanks, man.
You can catch Hip Hop Squares Tuesday nights on VH1. We'll be right back.
Promotion.
Y'all, happy Friday, and it's a happy Friday for us. Why? Because it's a Hawaiian barbecue here at DBL Day, so everybody's bringing hot dogs and all that good stuff in. So I've already put my order in. I'm getting just a hamburger and a hot dog. I feel like hot dogs are the first thing I go for at a barbecue. What do you go for?
I'm a hot dog person. Coming from Chicago, that's how we roll. But lately, I'm just gonna tell you, I've given in. I can't do the gluten. And what's a hot dog without a bun? I can't do it. I could do a gluten-free bun, but let's face it, no one's ordering gluten-free buns at the office.
They might be now. I mean, 5 years ago, absolutely not. Probably not. I mean, we're still on the fence. So I think in like 3 or 4 years, there'll be enough people at every. Because I feel like now when people have barbecues, they actively think we're definitely gonna have some vegetarians, we're gonna have some vegans, and some people that can't have gluten. I would think if I had that, I don't think I would have a party and not have at least veggie options. Yeah. They kind of doubled as vegan options. It's just, think about all the people in this room. Like if you had a party, I know Jamie, our producer, obviously Sam. I know a couple people cannot have gluten, so obviously. Megan, our other producer. Yes. Giving them the Scarlet G.
Although last night I went to a pizza place I'd never been to, and I ordered the gluten-free pizza, which was a 10-inch, so it's like a personal size. I'm calling it a personal size. And it was really, really good. Like, I was very happy because I felt like I got my pizza, but I didn't get my gluten, I didn't want to be this. I was fighting it. I fought it for so long. But it's like, do I want to fight the idea of having restrictions, or do I want to fight my body?
Is it starting to become more normalized to you? You just go, because now you're starting to look at menus and be like, You just look at the stuff you can have now?
Yeah, I look at, right, because I'm like, do I want to, yeah, it's like, do I want to just fight this thing?
Yeah.
Just because I liked being able to eat whatever I wanted to eat.
Right.
But technically, I wasn't really able to eat whatever I wanted to eat.
You were eating
I
it,
was
it was
just,
killing you.
more ready to deal with the consequences. All right, that's enough of the gluten talk.
Welcome back to DBL. Honolulu police are on the hunt right now for this worst of the week. A woman was caught on surveillance video vandalizing a sand sculpture at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. You can see her climb over the barrier, yes, Erica, then tear the sculpture's head off. She looks like she might be just a tad inebriated, perhaps.
Oh.
She looks like she might be.
What? Go
Sorry.
finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Yes.
She looks like she might be an entitled person who doesn't have any responsibility or any respect for anybody else's stuff. She really needs to get her life together, because who does that? You too grown for that? Get yourself together.
Erica, her blood has been replaced with tequila.
I don't
like, how are you?
Listen.
Your blood is replaced with tequila, and the first thing you think to do is vandalize somebody else's property.
Have you had tequila?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. The first thing, if I have tequila, I'm not thinking about vandalizing anything.
I think it
Anthony
depends on her
knows.
age. Not to say if she's 22 years old that she shouldn't have to suffer the repercussions. She should have to pay for that damage. She should have to perhaps help build the new sand sculpture.
Yeah.
But if she's like 40,
build. Do you want that help?
Okay, if she's 40, I get her no pass. But 22-year-old Sam made some mistakes
That
on
girl is
tequila
not
too.
22, and 22-year-olds like you're an adult. There are people done with their first
I
tour.
would love to see 22-year-old Al in Miami, please.
You'd be sleeping next to that
Please.
statue.
I got some stories off air.
Okay, exactly. If you're leaving us right now, you can still watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here's what's coming up next.
Elizabeth Smart's dad comes out of the closet at 64 years old. We'll tell you what's next for the family. Then, what annoys you the most about your significant other? We'll share our pet peeves. And it's New Music Friday! Taylor's new love song. Can we always be? Breakup jam. Once upon a time. We'll play them and tell you what we really think when DBL comes back.
Hi, it's Raquel here with the DBL Digital team, and right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up. And get started. Now, skydiving is scary enough. Now, imagine your parachute doesn't open. Well, that's exactly what happened to a 30-year-old woman in Canada. Her parachute and backup parachute failed to open on the jump, but she survived, and witnesses call it a miracle. Now, onto a story you just can't make up. A woman in Florida is in trouble with the law for what she pulled out of her pants: a foot-long gator. Turns out she was collecting wild animals, which is illegal in Florida. P.S. She also pulled 3 turtles out of a Ninja Turtle backpack. And it's been exactly 50 years since the music festival of all music festivals took place. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered for Woodstock in 1969, and there was supposed to be an honorary festival to celebrate, but that didn't exactly pan out. But fans and attendees of the first show are heading to New York this weekend to mark the occasion. And anyone out there, are you allergic to cats? Well, you don't have to be much longer. Scientists have developed a vaccine for cat allergies, and it should be available in the next few years. So enjoy the cats of the internet till then. And that's today's Fast Blast.
Have a good weekend.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like that?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Elizabeth Smart's father, Ed, is coming out as gay. He is 64, divorcing his wife and leaving the Mormon church. As you'll recall, his daughter Elizabeth was kidnapped when she was 14 and held captive for 9 months. Ed wrote a Facebook post that has now been deleted, saying, "The decision to be honest and truthful about my orientation comes with its own set of challenges, but at the same time, it is a huge relief." Wow, you know, it feels like an oxymoron to even report on someone coming out, because it shouldn't be an issue, right? It should be a non-issue. But in reality,
especially the Mormon church.
But in reality, with religion and the Mormon church, and now I should say, though, I should preface that the Mormon church has recently come forward saying that they are being more inclusive towards their LGBTQ members. Before, you're banished. You could not be a member of that Mormon church. So, but I'm grappling with this. I mean, is it ever too late to come out? I mean, I'm so happy for him, but
no, I'm happy for him. But I hope he would have a conversation with Elizabeth before all this went down, because it's not a bad thing that you come out, but it is going to shake up your household.
Right.
You know what I mean? No matter what you look, no matter how you look at it, it's not a bad thing. But there are going to be changes. Things are going to change. So if Elizabeth has been through more than we'll ever know in our lives. So to even like nudge her in another direction, I hope he had that conversation with her, and then she's probably happy for her father if that's what he ultimately wanted.
Right.
But I hope they had that conversation beforehand.
My concern is for the wife, and I think that there are far more people out there, probably in DBL Nation, who are grappling with this now, especially people are around this age, because it was never okay to be who they authentically were. And then when you start to put a family in the mix and you're growing a family and you have all these responsibilities, then what's the number one thing that parents say? It's all about your child. It's all about the family. So you put anything about yourself on the back burner. But now you have a woman who has to come to terms that she's also in her 60s and she has to start over. And that's a very scary thing.
That's a very scary thing. But I do think you're right that a lot of people can relate to it. You know, we think of Caitlyn Jenner, not to equate gender versus sexuality, two completely different things, when Caitlyn Jenner came out and said that this was not the gender identity that she identifies with. However, Kris Jenner had to deal with it, her children had to deal with it, and we all publicly saw that unfold. And I do think it allowed all of us to be more tolerant watching that happen. Not to say that trauma did not exist within that family.
It existed, but you can make the argument that she had a much larger support base. You know, she obviously got a television show after. I think for somebody like this, Erica, you hit it on the head. Not only are you forgetting about the wife, you're talking about the wife. Don't forget about the Mormon church, which
your friends,
is your life. That is your social circle.
Yep.
That is your life. That is how you connect to everything in your world. So you know, if you come out, you're going to lose your wife. You might lose your daughter. You're going to lose a lot of your friends, or at least they'll be talking behind your back. And you're going to lose the thing that you have been using to guide your life to get you into heaven.
Right.
So it's just such a difficult choice for people to make. My happiness versus my wife's happiness versus my daughter's happiness.
Although I've seen so much support. This will give you, make you feel good. When I was looking on social media earlier, I saw more support than people questioning or any sort of.
We're getting better.
Yeah, we are getting better.
Getting better, slowly but surely.
Yep, exactly. We've got an update to a story we brought you earlier this month. America's Got Talent judge Julianne Hough isn't bothered by labels. You'll remember she told Women's Health magazine that she's, quote, not straight. That's when people started labeling her as either lesbian or bisexual. She says people will define or label anything and everything in this world. So I'm not mad at people who do that. It is what it is. This is interesting because I believe she's also Mormon, right?
But she was raised Mormon.
She was raised Mormon. So, and again, the Mormon faith, aside from recently, has been very much against, having any of their members come out as LGBTQ. But as of recent times, they have said you can now baptize your children, if you've come out. Like, they've really tried to be more inclusive. So hopefully that's emboldened her if she's still practicing her faith.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Labels aren't specific to anything. Labels are really our way of identifying things to make us feel more comfortable. So
societally.
Right. Yep. So I can understand why people want to put labels on things. Like, I've been labeled a lot of different things. I would encourage people to listen to the labels that people need for themselves, because it's also an insight into who they are and what makes them the most comfortable. So you can learn a lot from people who need to label, because it's telling you more about them.
I have a question for you guys.
Well said.
Do you think the LGBTQ thing, with it being more inclusive in a lot of churches that we're seeing, do you think that that's them actually progressing, or them trying to retain members because people are leaving the church, all churches, in large numbers?
I think
do you
it's
think
both.
it's their way of?
I hope it's progression. I would hope it's progression. But yeah.
Whatever, as long as they do it, I'm with it.
Right. All right. Well, Stephen Colbert leaves comedy at the door to have a serious discussion. He stopped by Anderson Cooper's show last night to talk about grief. Colbert lost his father and two of his brothers in a plane crash when he was just 10 years old. Can you imagine? You'll remember Anderson's mother, Gloria Vanderbilt, passed away in June. Anderson even gets choked up. Watch.
You went on to say, what punishments of God are not gifts? Do you really believe that? Yes. It's a gift to exist. And with existence comes suffering. There's no escaping that.
Wow. I think of you, Al, who lost his father, and you were very close to him. And I've never had to, I've lost friends, but I've never had to lose a parent. I don't know how I would grapple with that. Like, how have you come to terms with it?
I mean, I was lucky that I lost my father in my late 30s. I had the first half of my life with him. To lose my father at 10, I think I'd be a much different person. And you see, we've met people, men and women, that they're almost in a state of arrested development, where they were so traumatized that they almost stayed 10 or 15 years old for the rest of their lives. So, I mean, for him to turn out how he turned out,
with his
and to be as
family,
prophetic, he's still a very church-going man. He's entertained a lot of people. I really just take my hat off to him, because to speak about something that personal is something he does. Like, he doesn't owe you anything. He entertains you for an hour every night, and then he can go about his life. But for him to reach out and talk to people like that, I really applaud this man.
And to see someone like that, who is so, like, polarizing, some people think so.
Yeah,
like, I hate that Stephen Colbert, and then to come out and see he's a human, he has a personal side, he has a sensitive side. I think people could relate to that and kind of, oh, you know what, I don't mind so much about the jokes. Everyone's human. If you could look at them and just humanize somebody, maybe people wouldn't be so mean all the time.
That's a beautiful statement. I know. If we can focus on what unites us rather than what defines us or divides us,
and he's on air 1 hour a day entertaining you.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, doesn't mean you have to
hate him,
get all worked up about it. You know what I mean? Look at this and see that he's human,
What did you make about the part in their conversation? I found it fascinating, because, most people will look at trauma and they'll say, it caused arrested development. It caused me to not become the person that I hoped to. But they both said that it defined them in a way that, who would they be today without that? Almost as if, like, it made them struggle, but in a way where they face adversity to become so successful that they are today.
And Erica, you talked about this with your divorce and your bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's a very real thing. Most of us have experienced trauma, and then it's a matter of if this is going to be my defining moment, or is this something that is forcing me to move in a different direction. And I always listen to what the message is behind it. Sometimes trauma comes into your life because you are stagnant in a way that you're not experiencing your life the way that you need to experience it. I think that's the reason why a lot of people make decisions to just change things after they have a traumatic experience.
Right.
And for them, so much of their trauma has shaped their lives, and I think it makes you more fearless, which makes you a little bit more adventurous, and then it makes you live a bigger life.
Erica, did you think, like, after you filed for bankruptcy, you had your divorce, did you think, like, this is rock bottom and I'm still here, so let's see what's up?
I I realized that I wasn't going to get out of that unless I purged my entire life, that I was going to stay there and I was going to waddle in that place. And if I didn't go through all of that, like I had to get through in order to get out. So that had to be a decision that I was consciously making.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, great conversation, really. Well, it is new music Friday. Let's start off with Miley Cyrus's Heartbreak song, only days after her split from Liam Hemsworth. There are rumors the two have been separated for months now, and it seems her new song, Slide Away, is all about their downfall. Listen. Wow. I wondered about the imagery. I don't know if that's related to her cover, but in the lyrics, she says in so many words, you know, stop taking pills and whiskey. I don't know if it's referring to him or her.
Well, her camp pointed the finger at Liam, saying it was drugs and alcohol why they split.
It's pretty profound.
Because it's putting it out there.
But the lyrics itself are profound.
I know, but with the visual and the lyrics, it's really.
Do you think she has a right to do this as an artist, or do you think that this is a violation of her?
She doesn't name him, but I know.
I know. It's just like, what do you think?
I've been asked this because I speak publicly about my life, which obviously other people have been a part of my life. I have been very consistent with how I've expressed myself. That consistency is going to be there when I'm with certain people, and it's going to be there after I'm with or after I'm not with certain people. So Miley Cyrus is an artist. She has always been very transparent about what's happening in her life. Sometimes that's going to benefit someone, and sometimes it's going to go on without them. And that's just the nature of being with someone who does this.
Yeah, people don't mind when Adele does it. She sings about her breakups.
Very well.
This is a little different, I think, though.
Yeah, because you feel like there's an accusation.
You think it's out of the line?
Let's get to this next song. We're running out of time. From a breakup to pure romance, Taylor Swift's new album, Lover, doesn't drop until next week, but she gifted fans the title track, making everyone think she's engaged. Listen. So she's engaged? Is she? She's not? I'm confused. I didn't get to hear the whole song.
Is this new Elevator Music Friday?
Yeah, what is this? Make everyone change the channel Friday? We should talk about Miley a little more. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know if she's engaged. I haven't heard the whole song. Do you think she's engaged? It would be, I know. It would be a big deal for Taylor Swift to be honest, though. Believe me, her fans would be, I think they'd be over the moon
we got
to see
some
her find
Swifties
someone.
In here.
Anybody here know?
Be honest, everyone's at a barbecue and there's no life in here right now. We're having a little barbecue outside. Look, everyone's cheering.
We legit have people in Hawaiian shirts and Lay's.
Look at it. Nobody's here. They're all at the barbecue outside and we're on air.
Yeah, must be nice.
That's what's going on.
Look, here's the two right here. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Get a look at that. Somebody go to Rob. There you go. Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
So you think anyone's listening to our Taylor Swift conversation?
Think so. I'm glad you pointed out the elephant in the room. Coming up on DBL, love and support go a long way, especially in times of crisis. We'll show you how a community got behind a man after he lost the love of his life. And we go over the most annoying habits that get under people's skin and share our pet peeves that our partners are guilty of when we come back.
Fun, man.
Yes, we're still sitting here at the desk. I think Brandon and Stephanie are supposed to be doing these, but yet they're probably outside.
I just ran outside.
Wolfing down.
I ran outside to get a patty, and everyone from in here is just not even like hurrying.
Right.
They're sitting at the table enjoying
What do you
themselves.
think it is about free food?
Dude.
Because everybody here obviously can afford their own food, but when somebody announces there's free food in the bag.
It doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah.
When there's free food,
It's a big deal.
you have to like eat almost till you're sick.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
What's your go-to at a barbecue?
I have a problem with moderation.
Hot dogs first.
Hot dogs?
I feel like there's nothing that can replicate the taste
of a grilled
hot dog.
Yeah.
Nothing else tastes like that.
Yeah, grilled anything. You know what I mean? Like just bringing, because I think growing up, everyone had barbecues.
Yeah.
And anytime you have that, it kind of brings you back.
Yeah.
So you get that nostalgia feeling, even if in your subconscious, you know? So you feel good about it.
Oh, little Sunday barbecues. You got to watch those though, because those can get out of control. I think that the day drinking for people, you don't realize, like, I have beer at this, and it's like 11. But you don't notice because it's like backyard having fun, and then at 3, you're like, I think I'm going to sleep in my clothes today.
It's weird because I've been missing that in my life. Like growing up, obviously, as a kid, you have those parties, and my brothers and then their kids. But then being out here without family, my kids are so small, I haven't really started parties yet, you know? So maybe when they're like a couple years older, then you got to start the parties with the balloons, and then you guys got to come, and then you're pissed. I got to go get Jeff's kid a gift.
No, I love it. We'll do the bouncy castles.
Yeah,
which
dude.
are always a good time.
You got to do it up.
Yeah, my buddy Jim does the bouncy castles for his kids, and as soon as they go to bed, we're like, all right, we're all in the bouncy castle. That's the first move. By the end of sleep, let's go to bouncy castle.
See, that's fun.
Welcome back to DBL. A woman's rant about her husband's annoying habit is going viral. Any guesses what it is? Squeezing toothpaste from the middle of the tube and not the bottom. Uh-oh, my husband gets mad at me for doing that. The anonymous wife took to the website Mumsnet to reveal her rage that prompted others to join in, and now people are sharing their partner's most hated habits. We're going to join in too, but you need to hear these other examples first. Are you ready? This user writes, it's the throat clearing when he's really stressed. It starts as a tick, a little low cough. I counted 27 while eating curry one evening. Or this person who can't stand when their partner brushes their teeth around the house, all because they hate the smell of mint. And finally, this user writes, when he puts salt on his food, he does it from a great height and it gets everywhere.
That's awesome.
Salt Bae.
I like that one.
Salt Bae.
That's funny. What about you, Erica? What annoys you?
Anthony has decided to start brushing his teeth in the shower, which would be fine, but we have an electric toothbrush, and he leaves it in there, and sometimes he'll leave it in there, and I'm not using it right after, so it's dead by the time that I need it, and I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
You guys share a toothbrush?
Well, no,
it's an electric toothbrush. You change the head.
You switch the head out.
That's too much work. Get another one.
What about you? I feel like you have a.
I have a lot.
Like what?
The worst one is like, we don't have water bottles at our house. You know, I just fill up everything with. But Jordan, I don't know where she gets these water bottles from, and then she leaves it with this much left in the fridge. And they're like water bottles scattered out throughout the fridge with a sip in there.
My husband does the same thing.
Oh my God, it drives me crazy.
It takes my husband like days to finish one water bottle, and I'm like, enough. And sometimes there's like 4 water bottles in the house, half drink, and it's like, enough.
I can't take it.
I can't take it. I can't take it.
It's the water bottles for you?
No, my husband, I love him to pieces. He's a creative like you, Al. I liken you guys like your desk. My husband tends to be messy. And yeah, that bothers me because I like things nice and tight.
Now, what about ordering at a restaurant with your husband?
My husband's very particular. He asks
Will you tell our
audience
questions?
Like, he's just very particular. He wants to know exactly what's in his meal.
It's super funny.
It's enough. It's enough. What about you, Al?
I don't.
It's enough. I've been with them. It's so funny.
I definitely like looking at those. I was like, I do almost all that. Like I
feel like you do.
I walk around the house brushing my teeth. Like,
and I feel like you're messy.
I'm better than you would think. You know what? It's because when I first got out of college, I lived with the most disgusting dudes ever, and it traumatized me. Like, you just get in the shower, and there would just be dirt. Like, it looked like a dugout. Like in baseball, it would just be dirt, shoes in the sink. I'm gonna wash it. And then I was
shoes in the sink.
These are dudes. God. Like they didn't get 4 dudes in a house in their early 20s.
We're gonna go check on Al's desk. Let's
I feel
just
like
see.
my bag.
I bet his desk is nice and clean today.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Oh, that's so.
What do you mean
that's
not bad?
Too bad.
There's burger and chicken wings.
There's burger, chicken, a cup.
3
2
cups. And look at the water bottle.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Fries. Those are bones.
That's now. What are some of the things that you all do? I know that I'm the person. My husband says I always do the toilet paper on the wrong way. I still don't know what the right way is.
See,
and I'm the person that pushes the toothpaste from the middle.
See, I don't like that either.
Okay, so that would annoy you.
And my wife leaves the cap off. Like when we're on vacation,
I think I do that too.
Squeezes it and the cap off.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. Oh man.
My husband is a saint because he is one of the most organized, cleanest people that I know.
Your house looks like a museum.
I am
you
like
clean, Erica? Are you organized though?
I get organized, but not like him.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We'll be right back. Good discussion.
Shh. That's it.
So I'm Jeff Schroeder, and we're all going to be learning a new word today. So I'm just randomly going to pick something out of a dictionary that's already been preset, and I'm going to give you my take on what I think it is. So let's get our first word. Chlorofluorocarbon. This is definitely on the table of elements, and you inhale this, whether in a gas or pill form, and it makes you run super fast. Chlorofluorocarbon. I didn't get that right at all, did I?
Welcome back to DBL. Now today's Hard Threads is all about community. Watch the outpour of the love one man received after the death of his partner.
After this radio DJ lost the love of his life, his listeners flooded him with support. Blake Hayes had been with his partner Cal Fair for 4 years.
We're gonna be together for a long time, like we just knew that.
Cal died suddenly from a rare condition called aortic dissection. Blake decided to be open about his loss with his listeners. He even hosted a special show to discuss what he was going through.
I hope that because we talk about this process on the radio, that other people see that care, that support, that good in humanity.
Cards and well wishes have poured in from fans.
I hope no one else ever has to experience that. But I wish everyone could experience what happened after, which was like this just giant hug.
It's all about community. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick,
Hey Beauty Blasters, welcome back for another great episode of Beauty Blast. I'm Jure for the Slay, and today I'm talking about one of my new favorite products for dry skin. Yes, I know, who doesn't want dry skin? Everyone doesn't want dry skin. What am I saying? Dry skin is probably one of the worst things that you can have when it comes to makeup. I'd almost rather have oily skin than dry skin when I'm applying my makeup. However, it affects a lot of us, especially when it comes to dry climate, harsh summers, or sometimes even a harsh winter. And that's why I like to go ahead and switch up my primers throughout these times of the year. This helps to make sure that we're not gonna see that dry, rough skin throughout the day, and instead we'll see a silky, smooth, delicate cheekbone. Now, for a beautiful hydrated look, one of my favorite new tips is to use a hydrating primer. This guy right here is from First Aid Beauty, and my friends down at Fab kind of hooked us up this week, so shout out to y'all. Now, this guy is the Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Primer. It's oil-free, and it's going to be hydrating your skin unbelievably. Sometimes I don't even wear makeup with this. I just wear it by itself because my skin looks good with it, okay? Now, with this guy, it does have colloidal oatmeal in it, and it actually has a powerful humectant called, once again, hyaluronic acid that helps to boost your hydration and give you that extra moist finish on your skin. Yes, girl, I said an extra moist finish. Get into it. Now, along with those great ingredients, it has colloidal oatmeal, and it actually has many pearls in it that help to burst into brightening effects onto your skin so you have a beautiful glow that lasts all day. One of my favorite finishes with this is that it actually has a very soft, natural cucumber scent that helps to make you feel and look fresh all day, guys. Now, make sure you're trying this out and actually check it out right in Sephora. It's only $28. Super duper cheap to get that hydrated skin look. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining in right here at Beauty Blast. Make sure you check out all of our Beauty Blast videos right here at Daily Blast Live and follow me on all social media platforms at Jeray for the Slay. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we got, Al?
All right, Sammy. Veronica writes us. I love Veronica. She says, my biggest pet peeve is when my husband leaves his used toothpicks all over the house.
Ooh, yeah.
That could be.
Ooh, that could be an Al move.
Yeah, the toothpick with the cleaner too on the other end. Yeah. All right, and Santini, I love that name, says, I hate when my man clips his toenails in places like the living room and she says, do that in the bathroom.
Oh,
yes,
man.
in the bathroom.
Yeah, toenails, Sam. Don't bring this up again.
Oh my God,
yeah,
sorry.
Because you're painting a bad picture.
I said hand nails. Hand nail.
Who said that?
I did. Hand nails, fingernails.
Hand nails?
Okay.
Fingernails.
You get me all flustered. You scared me.
I didn't know what
Sorry.
hand nails were.
Fingernails is what I meant to
Would
say.
you go to a shop that says, we do hand nails?
Before we go, an exciting announcement about Monday's show. Cameron Matheson will guest host on the DBL panel. You know him from All My Children and Home and Family. Bye, guys.
All right, so me and Kelly Schubert did a podcast this morning. We do it every Friday. It's called In the House with Kelly Schubert and me. And it's only 10 minutes long. We talk a little bit about Big Brother. Or that's all we talk about is Big Brother. And just kind of catch you guys up on the week. So if you want to hear it, tune in. I believe it's up right now. It's on like 5 different things, which I forget right now. Is it on like iTunes?
Stitcher, Spotify. Amazon Music, is it there?
I don't know if it's Amazon.
You said iTunes?
What else?
Stitcher, Spotify, Apple.
Hey, you'll find it if you want to see
Any
it.
streaming service.
iTunes, SoundCloud. Yeah, it's only 10 minutes long. It's just a little what I thought about the week, nothing crazy. And that's it.
I like the 10-minute podcast because that's like while you're brushing your teeth and just doing the final things in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You just knock it out.
Yeah. But it's weird because these Big Brother fans, I know them for 10 years now. You got to really watch what you say. You know what I mean? Because if you say you like a particular, so I'm all about I pick 3 people in the beginning after I interview them, and I'm like, all right, these are my 3 guys or girls, and I'm sticking with them. And then they say something or do something stupid in the house, and they're like,
now you're,
see, you're racist too. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? So you have to really explain every single movement of what's going on, with these fans. But that's just a few of you. Most of you guys are great. So tune into the podcast if you like it. If not, hey, what are you going to do? Have a great weekend.
Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Erica Cobb. Do us the honor.
It's Friday.
Oh, yeah. We feel it over here. Definitely the studio feels it. Wow. Yes, they do. It's Friday, August 16th. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al. I am Sam. Tori's on vacation. Let's get right to it. Well, retired NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are lucky to be alive right now after their private plane rolled off the runway after landing and burst into flames in Tennessee yesterday. Dale's wife and their 1-year-old daughter were also on board. A witness saw Earnhardt being treated at the scene. Everyone on board is okay, including the pilots. And this just in, the NTSB just announced his plane bounced twice on the runway before crash landing. The trauma, I can't even imagine, especially considering, his father died in a crash. He's been in a crash before. Erica, what do you think was going through his head? I mean, you looked visibly upset even looking at those photos.
Well, we were on the air when the first reports came out, so we didn't know very much. But
last night you were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we kind of announced it, and I looked at Jeff and I was like, oh my gosh, it really affected me because I was really thinking about, one, his father, the fact that he was in a crash that he said someone physically took him out of that vehicle, but no one did.
Right.
And then this happens, and you're like, well, seniors really looking out, because that is, that's a miracle.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, that's real.
Just looking at the photos.
When I saw, that's all I saw. So the news
so you thought
broke.
the worst. You don't mean to, but you do.
And then I found out possibly his wife and daughter were in there, and I was like, I immediately thought the worst. So when I found out that he got out, they all got out before it burst into flames. Luckily, so that's the story now. But wow, I had a different visual in my head when I first heard this, so I'm glad everyone's okay.
And thank God they got out before the flames burst, because Al, apparently, according to many eyewitnesses and the first responders, their door was open for them, meaning there wasn't anything blocking that escape route. But if it had landed in a different way, if it was up against a fence, it would not have been so easy to escape that plane.
Life is random, and sometimes it's terrible. And in this case, it was great. I mean, he's such a great ambassador for NASCAR. He seems like this man is beloved.
Right.
Honestly, people.
His family,
you've never heard anybody say a bad word about him. I've seen 10 interviews with him. He seems like a genuine person, a family guy. Got out of NASCAR because he was starting to get too many concussions. Thought about his family and his future ahead of him loving racing. Think about what decision that is to leave NASCAR when it is your life, it's your family,
identity.
It's your legacy, it's your father, your grandfather, everybody. So for him to step away and become a family man and become the cult of personality that he is, I'm just glad he's around for many, many more years.
Well said. Well said. We are glad they're okay. The president is interested in buying Greenland. Trump has floated the idea several times and has reportedly looked into buying the island from the Danish government, but it got an icy response from Greenland's government, which they said, we're not for sale. This has happened twice before. The U.S. tried to acquire Greenland in 1867 and 1946. Is this smart move, Jeff?
I don't know. It depends what resources are there.
Well, they
are we
have
just gonna
coal,
go and
they
just
have
purge
diamonds.
the whole thing?
Coal, well, it's mostly covered in ice, but
Right.
they believe that there's a lot
That's
of
a problem.
coal there, and coal and diamonds, and they believe oil and gas underneath all that ice.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how many people live in Greenland right now, but
50,000.
50,000
Around that
altogether.
number.
Wow, and it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
I don't know how happy those 50,000 would people be if we did acquire.
Would it be a
Greenland.
golf course? Is that what it would be turned into?
Well, Greenland's also super cold, obviously. They, I heard that it was a purposeful misnomer because they didn't want people to go to Iceland. Iceland's actually very beautiful and actually very green.
Yeah.
And Greenland's the exact opposite. And whenever they named them, I don't know, I forgot, I should have paid attention better in history class, but they intentionally misnamed them so that people would not go to Iceland and go to Greenland.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, the names don't make any sense. Iceland's beautiful.
Flying over Greenland and it just seemed just ice caps everywhere.
Right.
And then of course the pilot's like, we're over Greenland, and I was like,
I'll take your word for it.
crazy. You feel like you're flying over the Arctic. I mean, that is part of it, but yeah, you would imagine Greenland being green.
That's right.
Wow, way to pay attention, Al.
Good job.
Al with a fun fact Friday.
Al always pays attention.
I'm going to read more into that.
Yep. Comedian Andy Dick was assaulted in New Orleans, and the attack was caught on camera. In the video, you see a man approach Andy. He throws a punch at his head. Andy falls to the ground as the man is leaving the scene. Andy says he was knocked unconscious for 15 minutes and had to be treated for a possible brain bleed. A 46-year-old man has been booked on second-degree battery. He claims that Andy grabbed his genitals before the attack. This is why it is important to have more nuanced conversations, because on the surface, Erica, you look at that video, what an egregious attack, and it is. I don't think even if you are sexually assaulted, you never want to resort to violence, but you can at least understand it. And considering that Andy Dick does have a history, he has a pattern of behavior of sexually assaulting people on set, nightclubs, parties. There's been a slew of people that have come forward saying that they've been victims from Andy Dick, or by Andy Dick rather. Again, it pushes you to have a more nuanced conversation.
I don't know if nuance is what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, what is the repercussions for someone violating your physical body?
Right.
Like, what would be okay?
So would this categorize under self-defense?
For me, I think that although people are saying that some time went by, no one knows what they'll do in a situation like that and how long it'll take to process it. Andy Dick clearly has a history, allegedly, but not so much so, of touching people inappropriately, and that is sexual assault. It's almost like someone who decides to drink and drive over and over. It's never going to be the first time. It's going to happen eventually, but if it doesn't happen the first time, that means that the consequences are going to be far greater than if you would have gotten busted the first time. So I think that sometimes people just don't understand the first time, so they have to learn the hard way. This is the hard way. I have no empathy in this situation.
I feel you.
Oh, he's a lost soul.
He is, but you know, listen, I'm all about cause and reaction. That was the cause, and he reacted the way he did. If it's alleged right now. I just don't like, I mean, in the moment, I totally get it. I totally get it. But when you're walking down the street and you blindside somebody, I mean, you could kill someone like that. I'm all about, like, this is a code of the streets. This is not by law by any means.
So you don't think he should have sucker punched him?
No, not by no means. At least go confront him.
But he sucker groped him, allegedly.
Well, I don't know. Get in his face, confront him, and what you have to do, and then if you guys have it out, have it out. But to blindly hit somebody that's walking by, one, that's cowardice, no matter what happened. Two, go confront somebody if it happened in the time. If someone did that to me and I did that, I get the cause of reaction. But that looked dangerous, very dangerous.
Yeah, I know he's been to rehab a million times, and it hasn't worked. I mean, I've been in entertainment 14 years, and these stories have been, I mean, they've been out there for as long as I've been doing stand-up. And, you know, you never want something terrible to happen, but just like a DUI, Erica, maybe it takes something this severe where you wake up in a hospital with a brain bleed before.
And I wonder, I know we need to go, but it just dawned on me, again, the double standard. If this was young girls constantly being groped, I don't think people would, for some reason, Andy Dick has, like, come off unscathed from this.
He's viewed as being harmless.
Being harmless, the funny guy. If some comedian was grabbing girls' genitals left and right, I mean.
Look at what Aziz went through.
I know. So, listen.
And this guy has been, I mean.
Got to call it what it is. I mean, yeah.
It's just strange.
Well, a 15-year-old girl from Fresno, California, has been arrested for allegedly posting a threatening Snapchat with a photo of a gun and the message, "Don't come to school tomorrow." The Fresno police say they were notified by the FBI at 5 a.m. on Thursday, and by 6:30 a.m., police were able to track down a home where officers were dispatched. When police got there, they spoke with the teen's aunt. While the teen was pulled out of class and met by authorities, they say the girl admitted to the post and has been charged with making a terroristic threat. Police also confiscated this pellet gun. I mean, yeah, we talk about it, you talk about it mostly, Jeff, that you want to see social media work with authorities when it comes to red flags, especially when it comes to mass shootings, school shootings. We've seen the action.
Yeah, and this is the first time I've actually seen them put it together. I want to applaud both the police department and Snapchat for acting so quickly on this. And the FBI,
Two different departments.
They really acted quickly on this, so I think they have some plans in place, at least it makes me feel that way, that they are using social media to protect their students. My thing is, listen, I'm all about I'm all about learning from your past lessons. We live in a way too heightened society right now to be doing something like this and posting something like this. An example needs to be made of this person. I don't care who you are, what the situation is. It seems like she's from somewhere she doesn't have her parents. They had to return her to her aunt. I don't care what the situation is in this time right now, because it's way too heightened, and I think we need to make an example of this person. That's just me.
Well, I mean, just last week we had that young man that walked into the Walmart with the gun and the tactical equipment on, saying he was conducting a social experiment. And I would love if the booth could do this at some, maybe during the break. I don't know. I wonder what he was charged with.
Right.
I'm not saying he might have been charged with.
But he shouldn't be having that same example.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So it's weird that now we're getting people doing the act, but without carrying it out. What a strange place to be in a society.
Because that. If it weren't this, we would say it's a classic sign of needing attention that you're not receiving, if it weren't this topic. But really, I think that we do ourselves a disservice by kind of being very quiet and intentionally hiding away who these people are, for one thing, I do believe we shouldn't say people's names when they do these acts, but then it also doesn't show what happens to them. And when you're a young child, it's like, oh, well, yeah, you come up with all of these different things because you don't have the capability to make sense of what has happened next. So I was saying earlier, maybe it's something like simulation where we did with DUIs. You need to see the cold, hard truth as a child, especially because your brain is still developing and you're going to understand that here's the cause, here's the effect. Yeah. They need to put those two things together.
I think that's a great idea. And I was just given word by our booth that the case you're referring to, he was charged with terroristic threat.
Good.
So,
but I like what Erica's saying. Like, let's find out.
Let's follow up. They just kind of go away.
If you're planning to do one of these and you hear about this, you're like, I really want to do that?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be kicked out of school. I could face jail time, juvie,
what
all of the above.
What happens to your mom? What happens to your siblings?
Exactly.
What happens to your neighbors?
Right. It spiderwebs out. You're absolutely right. DBL's Live coming up. Elizabeth Smart's 64-year-old father has come out as gay. So what's next for this family that has gone through so much? Then re-envisioning an old classic. Hollywood Squares is now Hip Hop Squares. The host of the game show reveals the celebs in the new season. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host in this digital age. Should parents have to ask their kids for permission before posting photos of them online? We're going to share your comments next.
Talking about Hip Hop Squares. I interviewed my buddy D-Ray Davis. It's going to be coming on VH1. And it's interesting. I wonder, Erica, do you think that we're out of ideas? Because you see, the No Whammy show came back.
Yeah.
Hollywood Squares, $64,000 pyramid.
See, I'm of the thinking, and I've said this a million times, that we need new ideas because we're processing or living the thought processes of people who existed and did this 50 years ago. It's like life has changed. I feel like our brains are different. The way that we're entertained is different. Right. So I think we should be coming up with new concepts and ideas.
It's weird. I agree with you. But if you look at all the forms of entertainment, Wheel of Fortune been on forever. Price is Right. The biggest movies have Captain America in them, who's been around for literally almost 80 years.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems Rocky. They keep kind of remaking that. It's Creed now, but it's just Rocky.
I think it kind of, for me, it's more about scripted series because that's a storytelling medium, and I think that new stories need to be told.
Yeah.
The game show thing, I'm not gonna it's not a hill I'm willing to die on.
Right.
But scripted series, I will.
I wonder with game shows, is it just more difficult to teach your audience the rules? Rather than do you know Hollywood squares, then you understand hip hop squares.
Yeah.
You know, and just trying to establish yourself rather than just already having an established model
You do
that
have to
people
keep it
can,
simple.
you know?
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Parents who always post pics of their children online are being called Sharenters. Some love the cute kid pics in their timeline, and some don't like it so much. Now, some experts say sharing these photos without the child's consent could be harmful and dangerous because of predators, and that future embarrassment can lead to bullying. So, DBL Nation, when is it ever okay to share photos of your kid online? And should you ask for their permission, Al?
All right, let's do this, Sam. Janie from Facebook says, I'm a responsible parent, and what I say goes, and I post what I want. Plus, my social media accounts are private. I like that. So if somebody's going to bully your child, they're going to bully your child. It's just going to happen. Jane, I agree with a lot of what you said there. My only caveat to this, I know we're talking about parents. The only people I feel have carte blanche is grandparents. They can post whatever they want. You're a grandparent, you can do whatever you want. But as for parents, I do think that you have to understand that you do have a right to respect your kid. And posting a picture of your kid on social media is no different than you going to a grocery store and stapling a picture to the community board. I mean, everybody in the world can see it, and you have to think about that because everybody doesn't have great intentions.
Jerry from Facebook says, this is just another example of coddling our youth too much. They're my kids. I won't post any pictures that could harm them. Jerry, you know, I don't have children, so I don't know if I'm the best person to talk about this.
You have me and Jeff. Brandon.
No, but I do have nieces and nephews, and my siblings have been very private about posting photos of my nieces and nephews. They are their children, so I honor that request. If it's something where I feel like I really, really want to post it, I'll ask for permission. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. But I think it's an open line of communication and respecting both what the parents want to do as well as what is comfortable for the kids.
Donna from Facebook says, I do think that other people want to see our children and grandchildren. With that, we should ask our kids first before posting. Donna, I'm with you here, but except I have really young children, so they don't even know what's going on. And when they get a little bit older, I mean, it's up to me at this point. When they get a little bit older, I think I'm going to kind of not post my children as much because I don't want strangers coming up to my children. I want to separate what I do and who they are. I don't want people coming up to them and be like, hi, Lawson, when they don't even know him, and it's because of my posting. So I struggle with this myself.
It's well said. Terry from Facebook says, yes, at a certain age, you should start asking your kids permission. It'll teach them how to set boundaries early on. Ooh, I love that, Terry. I never even thought about that. So yeah, there's a lesson in it to teach my daughter about consent and boundaries and just that I can respect her consent. So yeah, when she gets older, I'm with Jeff. I got to really think about this one because I do post pictures of Sophie, seldomly, but I do, and I want to respect her. So. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of reminds me of that story. Remember where we were saying, should your daughter or son ask permission from a family member before they hug them, especially with young women? At first, everybody's like, no, if the uncle wants to hug, but no, I like that.
But it sets a pattern of behavior
Sophie
for boundaries.
should say, I don't like
boundaries.
I don't want to hug this person. I don't know. I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, there you go. Coming up on DBL, sometimes the most annoying people in our lives are our significant others. We'll share our pet peeves. But first, we're getting the behind-the-scenes scoop, rather, on the VH1 game show Hip Hop Squares. If you loved Hollywood Squares, this one's for you.
Hey guys, today I am going to be trying my first ever corn dog. I've never seen a corn dog, I've never smelled a corn dog, tasted a corn dog, ever. The only time I've really heard about a corn dog, I think, if I'm correct, was when Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman said, let's pop a squat and eat a corn dog. That might be completely incorrect. I'm sure you guys will write in and let me know. But let the corn dog commence. Okay, so this is my first look at a corn dog. It looks slightly questionable, but I'm gonna sniff it. It kind of smells like it should taste like a donut. Okay, it's not hot, so I'm just gonna go for it. Do I just bite in? Just bite in? Just bite in. Oh, you know what? That's all right. It tastes kind of a little sweet. It tastes like a hot dog with sweet, chewy bread. You know what? With a bit of ketchup, I would rate this quite highly. 7 out of 10. To all the corn dog lovers out there, I salute you and I join the club.
Welcome back to DBL. VH1 has re-envisioned the classic game show Hollywood Squares in exciting ways. I got a chance to sit down with comedian and host of Hip Hop Squares, my boy, Mr. D. Ray Davis, in today's Spotlight. Do me a favor, check it out. D. Ray Davis, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Having a blast on the daily, you know.
That's what I like to hear, man. You need to come out here to Denver and come on the show, man. You have an open invite here. You are family.
I appreciate it, man. I was mad I wasn't able to get out there, but we're moving the dates around, and with all the filming and everything, and including this, even including what I'm here for now, Hip Hop Squares, it's just Denver, man. I'm usually there once a year, and I missed it. I love it out there, too.
Obviously, you're famous from comedy, famous from movies, all that good stuff, but you were also famous, my brother, for dating 2 women. So what is the secret you can tell everybody to keep 2 women happy?
I'll say honesty is very important, you know, being honest about a lot of stuff. Honesty, because a lot of men lie about stuff.
That's
and
true.
I think friendship is important. At the end of the day, as much as I've joked about it and portrayed like, oh, it's a play, I just do that for it. Realistically, man, women do what they want to do. There's no controlling them. You can't tell a woman what to do with their bodies. You can't tell a woman what to do. So all you can do is be receptive and be respectful. All of us lovingly know that we want each other to succeed in life more than anything.
I appreciate you, and I'm going to play what you just said for my girl. But let's get to the show that we came here to talk about. I'm excited about this.
And now, here's your host, D. Ray.
What guests are you most excited for this season on Hip Hop Squares?
I love when the boss is on there. Rick Ross, he's always, laid back. What up, what up, what up? Ice Cube and those guys. Of course, the ladies, man. You know I want to see the ladies, man. Why you asking me that? You see Eva walking, but Eva married, that's a married woman. I can't speak on the married women like that, man. Jordan Woods, of course, is beautiful. Ray J's there clowning.
Stop, now take it to the other side.
Michael Blackson is there, Lil Duval is there. Danielle Harrington, have you seen Sports Illustrated? Come on, man.
I read Sports Illustrated for the articles, D. Ray.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant her interview.
We got you, man. Good luck. This show's gonna be a smash hit. But can't wait to see it on our TVs, man. Ladies and gentlemen, D. Ray Davis.
Al J, thanks, man.
You can catch Hip Hop Squares Tuesday nights on VH1. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
All right, what's up, DBL Nation? You guys have been looking at me all day. You know why? Because I'm taking my job seriously today. Everybody else is running back and forth to the barbecue, stuff in their face. I may have already had a hot dog and a hamburger. Who knows? But it was delicious. Like I've always said, I don't think anything tastes like a grilled hot dog. And I'm happy because I only had one, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I may have also had lunch as well. Lena, what is that? You look like you have some deliciousness, some peanuts. I have a cup full of peanuts.
A bucket of peanuts.
All right. I don't know the last time I had peanuts and I wasn't at a game or something. I know like the peanuts with the shells.
Five Guys, they sell peanuts. Not sell.
Yeah, but do you buy them?
No, it's just there to eat before you get the burger.
I know. Are you a nut person? I know Jeff likes walnuts.
Oh, I love.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's dangerous. I don't get them at home anymore.
You'll
so
just
I'll eat the whole thing.
Really? What's your favorite? Cashews?
I like cashews. I like almonds.
Oh yeah.
Dry roasted. Little
Okay.
salt, no salt.
Yeah, it's just like
It's really good.
it tastes like to me like eating that old school cork board. It doesn't have any taste, but it's difficult to chew. So I don't know if I'm a fan, but I do like some peanuts, and these are warm, which I appreciate.
Because they've been on the sun, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you
This
got
is
a
from
whole
the tables
bucket?
outside.
How did they?
Oh, well, I was trying to get the bowl. Stephanie said, just take a bucket. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so you just walked down
took a bucket.
a bucket
I
of
went
meat?
around so people won't see me.
You're the nut fairy.
Stealing
There we go. So DBL Nation, what's your nut? Are you a cashew, almond, walnut? It's pistachios. Those are big. I know. Walnuts plain. It just seems like it's such a pain. I like walnuts with chocolate around them. That's what I'm doing. What's that? Oh, pecans, yeah. Almonds? All right.
Peanuts.
You know those smokehouse almonds?
Oh, those are so.
Welcome back to DBL. Honolulu police are on the hunt right now for this worst of the week. A woman was caught on surveillance video vandalizing, yes, a sand sculpture at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. You can see her climb over the barrier. Then she tears the head off the sculpture. Yep, she looks like she may be a little inebriated, Jeff.
Yeah, I would say so. Listen, you do these things when you're young and you get away with it.
She's not that young, Jeff.
You don't know that.
But if you get caught, you got to pay the piper.
You do.
You know what I mean?
You
That's
do.
it.
Did Big Jeff at like 20 do anything similar to this?
Perhaps.
But did you ever have to pay the piper?
I did have to pay the piper plenty of times. Yeah, that's how you learn lessons. You know what I mean? She's on camera.
Who uses the phrase
I've
pay
never
the
heard
piper?
it.
You never heard pay the
never.
piper?
Nope.
What are you
Never have I
talking
heard
about?
paid the piper. I've
You
heard
just
pay
said
your
it. What do you
price.
never?
I've heard pay your price.
Listen,
pay
if
your
there was
dues.
anybody in here and they weren't at the barbecue, everyone would be like, of course you've heard of that. You never heard pay the piper?
Yes, I've heard.
Oh, sorry.
never heard
Sorry, I got all
that.
aggressive, Erica. I was like, Erica, you're my
Coming up
friend.
next on DBL.
Elizabeth Smart's dad comes out of the closet at 64 years old. We'll tell you what's next for the family. Then, what annoys you the most about your significant other? We'll share our pet peeves. And it's New Music Friday! Taylor's new love song.
Hi, it's Raquel here with the DBL Digital team, and right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up. And get started. Now, skydiving is scary enough. Now, imagine your parachute doesn't open. Well, that's exactly what happened to a 30-year-old woman in Canada. Her parachute and backup parachute failed to open on a jump, but she survived, and witnesses call it a miracle. Now, onto a story you just can't make up. A woman in Florida is in trouble with the law for what she pulled out of her pants. A foot-long gator. Turns out she was collecting wild animals, which is illegal in Florida. P.S. She also pulled 3 turtles out of a Ninja Turtle backpack. And it's been exactly 50 years since the music festival of all music festivals took place, Hundreds of thousands of people gathered for Woodstock in 1969, and there was supposed to be an honorary festival to celebrate, but that didn't exactly pan out. But fans and attendees of the first show are heading to New York this weekend to mark the occasion. And anyone out there, are you allergic to cats? Well, you don't have to be much longer. Scientists have developed a vaccine for cat allergies, and it should be available in the next few years. So enjoy the cats of the internet till then. And that's today's Fast Blast. Have a good weekend.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Elizabeth Smart's father, Ed, he has come out as gay. He is 64, divorcing his wife and leaving the Mormon church. And as you'll recall, his daughter Elizabeth was kidnapped when she was 14, held captive for 9 months. Ed wrote a Facebook post that has now since been deleted, saying the decision to be honest and truthful about my orientation comes with its own set of challenges, but at the same time, it is a huge relief. Good for him. I mean, but it does come with consequences, especially, and we see this a lot with some of the older generation, being part of the LGBT community wasn't as accepted and loved as it is today. And not to say that our own members of the LGBT community today don't face adversity, but we have come a long way. So he's not alone.
No, he's not alone. And I'm sure there are people watching right now who have been in similar situations. I mean, we were alive and well, and probably not that long ago, when LGBTQ or equal marriage rights.
No hate campaign.
Yes.
It's Friday.
What is wrong with my brain?
That was like 4 thoughts.
Same-sex marriage, Prop 8. Yep.
Yes. So all of these things in terms of people feeling like it's mainstream and accepted are very new. So you have people who have been living a lie for the most part for their entire lives. Yeah, because you're responsible to your children, you're responsible to your wife. Now you have a woman who has thought something of her life, or maybe she knew. Like a lot of people know, and it's something that they continue to be partners. But at the same time, I think that a lot of people are experiencing this right now, and they'll continue to experience it if people are bullied into being who they aren't.
It's true.
Yeah, I think maybe, this is a very unique situation. Elizabeth Smart went through things that we have no idea, we can't even fathom, you know what I mean? And maybe this woke her dad up in a way to say, like, life's short. I just want to be happy. I went through this with my daughter. I hope he had this conversation with his daughter at least, because it is going to change a lot of things. Not saying it's bad, but it definitely changes dynamics of, who your father is, who your mother. Changes change, and you have to learn a new pattern.
And we witnessed that with Caitlyn Jenner, not to equate sexuality and gender, two completely different situations, but we did witness in a very public fashion how she had to then discuss it, because she had that show, I Am Kate, with her children. I know that it created quite the divide between she and her ex, Kris Jenner. So it's a reality. Even though it's a wonderful thing, it's going to create change.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, for everyone involved, and I think that's a lot of things that we're kind of missing when we talk about these things. We talk about this man, Ed, we talk about his daughter, but I mean, think about again, Erica, you talked about people coming out and people even knowing what LGBTQ is now.
Right.
I mean, think about trying to explain that to your grandfather or your great-grandfather. They wouldn't know, they would think you just didn't know the alphabet, but now it's common.
You're right.
So we're, like you said, we're not that far away from, I watched Pose on FX, and that took place in the 80s, and the way people treated homosexuality is, they might as well have had a hazmat suit.
Yep. Yep.
So, I mean, we've come a long way in a short amount of time, and unfortunately for people like Ed, he was on the other side of that timeline where it wasn't as accepted.
Really quickly, thank you for that, Al. I want to involve Donna's comment because I think it ends on a nice light note. Donna says, I want to invite Lizzo Smart's dad to my Pride party next year. Yes, Donna.
Yes,
that is
time.
very sweet. It is time. We've got an update to a story we brought you earlier this month. America's Got Talent judge Julianne Hough isn't bothered by labels. You'll remember she told Women's Health magazine that she's, quote, not straight. That's when people started labeling her as either lesbian or bisexual. She says people will define or label anything and everything in this world. So I'm not mad at people who do that. It is what it is. What do you think, Erica?
Yeah, I think labels are a way of making us feel comfortable. If we can identify what something is and in our heads we're 100% right about what that identity is, then we can like move on with our lives and go on to the next thing. But for me, I feel like when people really want to label something or label you as something, it's actually a bit of insight into who they are and who you're dealing with. So I think that labeling is important, but it's important for the people for the person receiving it to see what it's really about, because it might give you a story that you weren't privy to before.
I think that's a really insightful answer. Do you think also, though, considering that she grew up in the Mormon faith, I'm not sure how much she practices Mormonism today, but I know that, you know, she and her brother were very devout Mormons. Do you think, I know recently, Erica, they've become more inclusive to LGBTQ as opposed to, you know, just a year ago, they would completely denounce you if you were to come out. Do you think she's afraid of, and again, I think your perspective is a completely more insightful version of this, but do you think on a simple level that she's afraid to use labels because of how she's been almost seen people cast aside because of their labels?
I don't think that religion is necessarily any different from anything else we experience. Anytime you take a step, look at the four of us.
Yeah.
We did something that other people in our lives didn't do because they weren't called to do. That means that you're rejecting a portion of who you were in order to grow in a different way. That's why you leave the nest. That's why you do all of these things. So I think that we could say that it's religion, but really she's living a life of high risk, high yield, and it's an exceptional way to live. And that means that you're going to be privy to labels, and all these things are going to happen because it's high risk, high yield.
Yeah, interesting, really interesting. Chime in, DBL Nation. Stephen Colbert leaves comedy at the door to have a serious discussion. He stopped by Anderson Cooper's show last night to talk about grief. Colbert lost his father and two of his brothers. Can you imagine, in a plane crash when he was just 10? You'll remember Anderson's mother, Gloria Vanderbilt, passed away in June. Anderson even gets choked up. Watch.
You went on to say, what punishments of God are not gifts? Do you really believe that?
Yes. It's a gift to exist. And with existence comes suffering. There's no escaping that.
Wow, and talk about suffering.
Yeah.
You know, I've never had to lose a parent or a sibling. I know, Al, that you've been very forthright with our viewers about losing your dad. What I thought was interesting about their conversation is they talked about how their hardships define them. What do you make of that?
I mean, a lot of comics. You look at Richard Pryor. So many people experience trauma in their life, and they turned it into positivity. I think a lot of art and a lot of beauty comes from hate. I mean, some of you know, even to take it almost to a comical level, you look at like if somebody says something untoward to somebody on YouTube, and whether it's racist or homophobic, what's the first thing that happens? Somebody takes it, chops it up, makes a remix, and makes it funny. You know, there's no way you can't, you cannot let the bad things define you. And I mean, we could be talking about Stephen Colbert, the person that's been in and out of jail for the last 10 years, and he could have the exact same backstory as he has right now. He decided, like you always talk about, Jeff, he decided to take that and make that a positive thing.
Yeah, and I think you have to, especially with tragedy. You have to turn it around. You can't let it work against you. You have to let it work for you. And I think that's what both of these gentlemen are doing. I have never dealt with that tragedy, so I don't know what that's like, but it does humanize them. It does make me feel like I am more connected to them. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you look at Stephen Colbert in a different way, I feel like now, and like,
or at least
hey,
you should,
right? Like, hey, I get his political point of view, but that's not really who he is. This is who he is, a poor man who lost family members that are close to him, and you have sympathy and you become closer to him. That's what I think this is about more than, you know, if everyone would just look at other people in the world like that with some sympathy, and like, I don't know what they went through, but they're acting like this now, but they definitely have some things that I could sympathize with, I think it'd be a better place.
I agree. Well said. I know. If only we all could follow suit. The car belonging to Bond, James Bond, has a new owner. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
Well, Sam, it's the type of car Sean Connery used in Goldfinger and Thunderball. Take a look at this 1965 Aston Martin DB5. It just sold for a record $6.4 million. This car is fully restored and is fit for the next 007. It includes 13 fully functional gadgets like an ejector seat, nail dispenser, and rotating license plates. And it's only one of 4 cars made for the James Bond franchise. One of them mysteriously disappeared and has yet to be found.
Mysterious.
Wow, mysterious.
How does a car
An ejector seat?
It's called the director.
So cool. I know. It is new music for Rye. Let's start off with Miley Cyrus's heartbreak song, only days after her split from Liam Hemsworth. There are rumors the two have been separated for months now, but it seems her new song, Slide Away, is all about their downfall. Listen. The imagery, we still don't have confirmation if the imagery of the whiskey and the pills, whether or not that is her own licensed imagery to promote her album, we don't know. But in the lyrics, she does talk about, you know, like stop with the pills and the whiskey. And you said there was an accusation last night that you guys discussed. I'm not aware of this. So tell me.
Well, yesterday her camp came out and said that he was drinking excessively and using drugs, and that was a part of the breakup.
Okay, and that's in the lyrics.
But that was also yesterday.
Yeah.
So she's got to be thinking about this for a while if she's going to have those exact same lyrics, right?
Well, it doesn't feel like a coinky-dink.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. I'm on board.
How would you feel if you?
I would not like it.
I
wouldn't. I mean, listen. Everyone goes through breakups, and you have to be adult about it. When I was younger, I was an adult about it. You know what I mean? You want to hurt somebody by showing a picture like that, by saying, "Hey, it's not my fault. You were the one drinking and doing drugs." You know. By the way, his camp clapped back and said the reason why they broke up was because her infidelity. So that's how his camp clapped back. I'm just feeling you like coming.
So it's gotten nasty.
So now it's getting nasty. You know what I mean? If I was married to someone or with someone for 10 years, no matter what my wife did to me, I'm talking nice now, but I wouldn't want to ruin the rest of her life. I have children with her. I wouldn't want to bury her name in the mud no matter what she did. I'd wish her the best, and I'd hope she wanted the same for me no matter what happened, you know?
Yeah, but I think it's the immediacy of it. And I think if they had a year to sit on these feelings, I think it would be different. But when you break up with somebody, you immediately like, let me put pen to paper and say how I'm feeling. But I wonder how she'll feel about this 4 or 5 years down the line, even if they've reconciled, like, man, I wish I hadn't done that.
I don't know if that's going to be a regret, because clearly this is her process. This is how she expresses herself, and that's how she expressed herself when she was with him. This is how she'll express herself for now until forever. So it's either you're okay with that or you're not.
And moving on to TT.
Tay-Tay. TTs are something else.
I was like, my aunt?
Yeah. Are you have an Aunt TT, Erica? You have an Aunt
Everybody has a TT something.
That's funny. I don't know why I called Tay-Tay TT. Sorry about that, Taylor.
Wait, hold on. Michael's got to walk by.
From
there he goes.
a breakup to a pure romance, Tay-Tay Swift's new album, Lover, doesn't drop until next week, but she gifted fans the title track, making everyone think she's engaged. What? So is she engaged, or do we have any Taylor Swift fans in the building? Is she engaged or not? Wow.
Crickets.
You have no idea, DBL Nation. It's Friday. All of our staff is at some barbecue, literally right out our door. And yeah, so it's definitely crickets in here.
I just have never heard that silence.
I know, because no one's here, or they're eating their hamburgers and chips and hot dogs over there. Coming up on DBL, love and support go a long way, especially in times of crisis. We'll show you how a community got behind a man after he lost the love of his life, and we go over the most annoying habits that get under people's skin, and share our pet peeves that our partners are guilty of. Ooh, when we come back.
You dream, you plan, you work.
Still eating peanuts from the barbecue.
Okay, can we discuss that?
Could I have a hot tea?
Yes. I'd like to discuss this peanut situation. I don't want to come off as ungrateful, but I'm going to come off as ungrateful. Last time we had a barbecue, the final or the dessert were chocolate chip cookies. I was really excited because they were delicious, and I asked someone who was going to the barbecue if they could grab me 2 chocolate chip cookies. Her response was, there aren't chocolate chip cookies, they're peanuts. How do you go from chocolate chip, you set the bar at chocolate chip cookies, now peanuts, and they're not even deshelled. What is happening here, people? I am so offended.
When my son had his 5th grade graduation, like at the end, like when everybody's taking pictures, they had cookies and coffee for the parents, and the only cookies they had available was oatmeal raisin vegan cookies. They didn't have any chocolate chip, no nothing. And I'm like, what? And I took one bite.
Why does it have to be a
vegan
vegan
And it ruined
cookie?
my son. I didn't think about his graduation the rest of the day. I was like, you've ruined this day.
First of all, there's plenty of chocolate chip, snickerdoodle, vegan. You can eat sugar. You can eat pretty much everything that's inside a cookie.
They were horrendous.
Was it gluten-free?
Gluten-free, that's what they were.
Yeah,
they were horrendous.
Because let me tell you, chocolate chip vegan cookies, you would never know the difference.
And there was a bunch of parents.
I know. You would never know the difference.
There was a bunch of parents like in the corner just drinking coffee and like really like saying horrible things about this. They were just like, can you believe these cookies?
It was warranted. I'm sorry, I have a confession to make really quickly to Sam. So Sam and I had this conversation about Native probably like when we first started.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no, I went to a Native and there was meat. I had no idea that it was not meat. She's like, have you gone to? She's like, is there one with meat? And I was like, the one I went to had meat.
You would never know.
I had no idea.
Welcome back to DBL. A woman's rant about her husband's annoying habit is going viral. Any guesses what it is? Squeezing toothpaste from the middle of the tube and not the bottom. Uh-oh, I'm guilty of that.
I feel that pain.
The anonymous wife took to the website Mumsnet to reveal her rage. That prompted others to join in, and now people are sharing their partner's most hated habits. We're going to join in too. Don't worry. But you need to hear these other examples first. Okay. It's the, one user writes, it's the throat clearing. When he's really stressed, it starts as a tick, a little low cough. I counted 27 while eating curry one evening. Or this person who can't stand when their partner brushes their teeth around the house, all because they hate the smell of mint. And finally, this user writes, when he puts salt on his food, he does it from a great height and it gets everywhere. All right, Al, what annoys you?
You know, I don't have too many annoying habits. I guess the one thing is just the extended showers. I don't know what it is, but just like maybe it's from sports or just being a dude, like you get out.
Oh, you're speaking of you.
Yes.
Your
like,
annoying habit.
No, I'm saying I take quick showers.
Oh.
But people I've been with 2 hours, like literally like an hour. 20.
That's
well,
weird.
it's like in terms of like the entire from beginning to end.
Although
it's
Erica will enjoy a glass of wine in her shower, right, Erica?
Because it's not weird to take a 2-hour shower because some of us have to take 2 hours to get this done, okay?
And it's your self-care ritual, too.
Exactly.
And
I do have my wine. I have my shower.
Is there a chair?
Erica?
Yes, there's like a little tiki chair.
There's got to be a tiki chair.
Yes.
Okay.
You sit in the shower and drink wine.
Yeah, I will.
Doesn't it get in the
I'll take a break, you know, when my hair is being, when it's conditioning.
The head.
Well, most people have a shower.
I know my shower's teeny. I don't have room for a tiki chair. No. What about you?
What annoys me about my wife?
What annoys you?
She always leaves like this much drink in her cup or in a bottle and this much like food. Like there's one piece of chicken like that. Why didn't you just eat that and put it in the sink? Like what is wrong with you?
I don't think people want to be the last to finish it. So
can I get a new picture for these guys, please?
Oh my gosh.
I'm always promoting tea.
Yummy. I know. They should give you more money now that you're putting it on a national television
guys, I have
show.
other pictures. You guys, I've been here for 2 years.
Sam, what about you? His pet peeve. For me, my husband, he'll drink like a green tea, a beverage, and he'll drink like this much of it. And then it stays out all day long, and then 4 hours later, there's another green tea with this much drink out of it.
The same thing?
The same thing, and that really bothers me. And my husband is a very creative genius, but I liken it to you, because you're a creative genius. You're also kind of messy, so is he.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like things more organized. I think I would get along really well with Anthony, because he's organized.
Anthony's organized, but he does not know when to do PDA. He tried to kiss me at the gun range.
That's beautiful.
Really?
That sounds like a Hank Williams Jr. song.
He thought you looked good at that moment, Erica. I know, right?
That's awesome.
Good
I
song.
love that.
But keep writing them in, you guys. I love hearing all your pet peeves. We'll be right back.
Hey Beauty Blasters, welcome back for another great episode of Beauty Blast. I'm Jure for the Slay, and today I'm talking about one of my new favorite products for dry skin. Yes, I know, who doesn't want dry skin? Everyone doesn't want dry skin. What am I saying? Dry skin is probably one of the worst things that you can have when it comes to makeup. I'd almost rather have oily skin than dry skin when I'm applying my makeup. However, it affects a lot of us, especially when it comes to dry climate, harsh summers, or sometimes even a harsh winter. And that's why I like to go ahead and switch up my primers throughout these times of the year. This helps to make sure that we're not gonna see that dry, rough skin throughout the day, and instead we'll see a silky, smooth, delicate cheekbone. Now, for a beautiful hydrated look, one of my favorite new tips is to use a hydrating primer. This guy right here is from First Aid Beauty, and my friends down at Fab kind of hooked us up this week, so shout out to y'all. Now this guy is the Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Primer. It's oil-free, and it's going to be hydrating your skin unbelievably. Sometimes I don't even wear makeup with this. I just wear it by itself because my skin looks good with it, okay? Now with this guy, it does have colloidal oatmeal on it, and it actually has a powerful humectant called, once again, hyaluronic acid that helps to boost your hydration and give you that extra moist finish on your skin. Yes, girl, I said an extra moist finish. Get into it. Now, along with those great ingredients, it has colloidal oatmeal, and it actually has many pearls in it that help to burst into brightening effects onto your skin so you have a beautiful glow that lasts all day. One of my favorite finishes with this is that it actually has a very soft, natural cucumber scent that helps to make you feel and look fresh all day, guys. Now, make sure you're trying this out and actually check it out right in Sephora. It's only $28. Super duper cheap to get that hydrated skin look. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining in right here at Beauty Blast. Make sure you check out all of our Beauty Blast videos right here at Daily Blast Live and follow me on all social media platforms at Jure for the Slay. We'll see you
EJ
again.
lost the love of his life. His listeners flooded him with support. Blake Hayes had been with his partner Cal Fair for 4 years.
We're gonna be together for a long time, like we just knew that.
Cal died suddenly from a rare condition called aortic dissection. Blake decided to be open about his loss with his listeners. He even hosted a special show to discuss what he was going through.
And I hope that because we talk about this process on the radio, that other people see that care, that support, that good in humanity.
Cards and well wishes have poured in from fans.
I hope no one else ever has to experience that. But I wish everyone could experience what happened after, which was like this just giant hug.
It's all about community. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
If it
We're on, I believe.
We're on.
Hey guys, it's Friday, it is the weekend, it's officially here. Here in Denver, it is currently 1:52 p.m., which means only a few hours until we are all out of here. I want to know what you guys are doing this weekend. Write on in, put hashtag dbltake and tell me, or DBL Nation even, whatever you fancy, and let us know what your plans are for this weekend. Tonight I'm going to go to a Rockies game. I've never been to a Rockies game. I am really excited. The weather is actually lovely outside. It's a bit hot. Not too hot, but just the right kind of temperature. In England land, in Celsius, is it? It's 23 degrees. Don't know what it is in American temperature. Don't know, but it's good. It's nice. 85. Just been having a barbecue outside. So here in the studio, we share the studio with 9 News, our sister station, and we've just been having a massive barbecue outside. Oh my gosh, the 9 News guys put it on for us. We had burgers, we had hot dogs, we had potato salad, coleslaw, salad, everything. It was so delicious. Although I didn't eat the potato salad because it looked a little bit questionable. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm being mean, but it looked a bit strange. One other thing that I did try very recently, and I believe it's been on our show today, has been the good old faithful, the American staple, that is the corn dog. So I've never had a corn dog, I've never tasted a corn dog up until literally a couple of hours ago when you have seen it live today. And basically, for those of you that were like me that didn't know what it was, it's like a hot dog on a stick coated in like this batter, but it was really actually, I don't know if this is normal or if it was just that particular brand that I had, but is it normally quite sweet dough? Like a bit sweet, like cakey? Or is that just the one I had? It is a bit sweet. See, that was what I found really weird. Like it was tasty and it was crunchy and it was all right, but it just was really weird at how sweet it was. I found that so bizarre. It just is such a unusual combination. Would I buy one again if I was at some kind of like a basketball game or a baseball? Is that where you buy them?
1 minute.
Where do you buy these things? At a fair? Well, yeah, I would if I was hungry. Would I eat one again? Yes, I would. Would I go out of my way for it? No, I wouldn't. But it was all right. Can you get them at the cinema? I'm wondering where like you get all these things from that I've been eating, but there are so many other things coming up. I'm going to be trying Twinkies, I'm going to be trying different types of chicken, so KFC, Popeyes, Churches. What else am I going to be trying? There were so many things, different drinks. Oh, I'm going to also be having my first peanut and butter and jelly sandwich. So stay tuned, all are coming to America, Snackle Edition with me. Watch me gain a ton of weight, but be very happy in the process.
Welcome back to DBL. An exciting announcement about Monday's show. Cameron Matheson will guest co-host on the DBL panel. Of course, you guys all know him from All My Children and as the host of Home and Family and also Hallmark Channel movies. Yes, you can't miss him. He will be joining us on Monday. So, yes.
All right.
You love him.
I do love him. I think he's got a terrific career.
And you worked together on Home and Family before.
That's so cool. Yeah, I told him last time I was there, I'm like, Cam, man, you have like the best career because he's just quiet about his life. Well, I follow him on Instagram. He's a real family guy, you know, which I look up to. He does a lot of Hallmark movies quietly that a lot of people don't know. He's got a great job over at Hallmark. I kind of idolize his career and where I want my career to go. You know, just a soft, nice little career. Nobody wants to be Tom Cruise over here.
You find your corner, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to like have fun.
He can still go out to dinner.
You know, make a movie without too many people making fun of me, things like that.
You know, a lot of people love Hallmark movies.
Yeah,
so I don't know how quiet. Trust me, people are fanatical about Hallmark Channel movies, like me.
Jeff, can we get a Pastor Paul to just take us to the weekend? One Pastor Paul line?
Yeah, give me a Pastor Paul.
Oh, what was a good one?
Maybe you should make time.
You make time for that.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care. See you Monday.
it's Raquel here with the DBL Digital team, and right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up. And get started. Now, skydiving is scary enough. Now, imagine your parachute doesn't open. Well, that's exactly what happened to a 30-year-old woman in Canada. Her parachute and backup parachute failed to open on a jump, but she survived, and witnesses call it a miracle. Now, onto a story you just can't make up. A woman in Florida is in trouble with the law for what she pulled out of her pants: a foot-long gator. Turns out she was collecting wild animals, which is illegal in Florida. P.S. She also pulled 3 turtles out of a Ninja Turtle backpack. And it's been exactly 50 years since the music festival of all music festivals took place. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered for Woodstock in 1969, and there was supposed to be an honorary festival to celebrate, but that didn't exactly pan out. But fans and attendees of the first show are heading to New York this weekend to mark the occasion. And anyone out there, are you allergic to cats? Well, you don't have to be much longer. Scientists have developed a vaccine for cat allergies, and it should be available in the next few years. So enjoy the cats of the internet till then. And that's today's Fast Blast. Have a good weekend.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Erica Cobb, what day is today?
It's Friday.
That's how we do. August 16th. I'm here with Erica, Stephanie, and Al. I'm Jeff. Tori is still on vacation.
Lucky guy.
Girl, we'll see you on Monday. Let's jump right in, guys. Retired NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are lucky to be alive right now after their private plane rolled off the runway after landing and burst into flames in Tennessee yesterday. Dale's wife and 1-year-old daughter were also aboard. A witness saw Earnhardt being treated at the scene, and everyone on board is okay, including the pilots. That's Dale Earnhardt right there that you're seeing. And this just in, the NTSB just announced his plane bounced twice on the runway before crash landing. And when I saw this yesterday, actually it was during this show at the end of the show yesterday, we announced that this happened. The news just broke. I saw the photos and I did not think it was going to be this kind of outcome. So happy for the Earnhardt family and that nothing happened.
Honestly, I went home, and I mean, you guys did it on there. I went home after we talked about it on this hour yesterday. They still didn't have a lot, but I kind of waited till I went outside to look because I was sure it was going to be a headline I didn't want to see. So happy I was wrong.
Well, that's exactly what we said, right, Erica? We were both praying, looking at it, thinking this does not look good.
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, it's people obviously have a lot to say about this because his father, Senior, obviously died in a crash. Dale was in a crash in 2004 and remembers someone removing him from the vehicle, although no one did. And then this happens, and they were able, not only Dale, his wife, 1-year-old daughter, and then a dog, I think.
A dog, too?
Was there a dog? Like, regardless. Yes, there was a dog.
Wow.
So I just thought, like, there are angels everywhere, and Senior must be looking out.
And he said the same thing about this crash too. Someone was there, but no one was there. You know?
I'm the biggest believer ever in this. Like Eric and I talk about this a lot, about different situations that we've both been in at times where it's literally not seemed possible, and we've either heard something, seen something. You know, I believe in the power of this, and angels 100%.
I do too.
Happy.
Definitely. Well, glad everyone's safe over there.
And Steph is safe.
And Steph,
I'm
everyone
safe.
Here.
I survived life on a daily basis.
Wow. Way to be appreciative about it. We did that at barbecue.
She sounded frustrated. She's like, I'm alive. I'm here, Jeff. Continue.
Let's get through this hour on Friday. All right. right. The president is interested in buying Greenland. How about that? Steph, you interested in that?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Well, Trump has floated the idea several times and has reportedly looked into buying the island from the Danish government, but it got an icy response from Greenland's government, which said they're not for sale. This has happened twice before. The U.S. tried to acquire Greenland in 1867 and 1946. I mean, it's a beautiful place, but my only thing is that there have to be natural resources there for us to be interested in buying it, right?
Yeah. Well, of course there's natural resources in order for there to be.
Yeah.
There's something of value. If there's anything that you can say about Trump, he obviously can identify an asset. So that's the whole thing. I can understand why Greenland would also identify the fact that that's a bad idea for them.
Yes.
So let's move on. I'm sure there's other things that we can talk about as a country.
Didn't it look super boring there?
I mean,
I know it's pretty,
cold
Erica.
and it's a lot of snow.
Look at that. You'd have fun.
That looks beautiful.
Yes, for the first 40 minutes. And now what?
Everything is.
You know the Wi-Fi situation is garbage.
No. This is solely because Al doesn't like being outside. If there's like a piece of mud on the floor or a bird tweeting, Al isn't interested.
I don't want to be somewhere where there's a sheet of ice over the country.
Nature.
I'm sorry.
He likes to be inside because he says that it's
constantly
be north
of the
under
wall.
attack.
No, I don't want this.
See, some people like that. I think I would like that.
Jeff, you would be so bored.
Listen, to get off the grid, no, I like that.
I like the grid. The grid's got Wi-Fi and air conditioning.
See, I
like being off that grid because it's 80% covered in snow and ice, and we all know that that is melting. And what's underneath that ice, Jeff? Diamonds, oil, and iron. And I know what.
So your plan is to go hang out and wait for the ice to melt? Good times with Steph.
I think we're missing a big fact. Greenland don't want us there.
That's
Nobody
true.
there wants us. So let's just keep
We could be the first two black people there. You know this. We go there with our Neil Armstrong.
I think you'd be surprised, Hal. I think you'd be surprised.
Leave a mixtape and a Drake hat and just come back to the stage.
See, we turned that story into something. It was nothing. And we got there. We got there.
We haven't identified what that something is.
Oh, gosh.
All right, guys, this next story is kind of serious. Comedian Andy Dick was assaulted in New Orleans, and the attack was caught on camera. Check this out. It's hard to watch. In the video, you see a man approach Dick, and he throws a punch at Andy's head. Andy falls to the ground as the man is seen leaving the scene. Andy says he was knocked unconscious for 15 minutes and had to be treated for a possible brain bleed. A 46-year-old man has been booked on second-degree battery. He claims that Andy grabbed his genitals before the attack. Now, this guy, I mean, I get the cause and reaction of things, and this is all alleged, what this man, what Andy Dick might have done. I get it in the moment. Walking by and blindsiding Andy Dick like that, or anybody, is very dangerous. I'm all for one, like, you know, have it out, do your thing outside. But this guy wasn't even looking, and he could have seriously
it's
hurt
dangerous,
him or killed
man.
him.
And trust me, we are family men. We understand this. But we have men in our lives, whether they're friends, ex-friends, guys we went to school with, uncles, whatever. You know, at least one guy where them having their genitals grabbed would not fly.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe they got separated or something. And this is not the way to handle this. But like you said, talked about the code of the streets. Unfortunately, it is a real thing. And like some people take that very, very, very seriously. It's an insult to their manhood. It's an insult to their pride, and that is the reaction that unfortunately you will get sometimes.
Well, of course, like when you're in those situations, I mean, it's a very sad topic to say. We've all discussed it many times on the panel. Both male and female members of us have been assaulted and inappropriately touched at times, which is an awful thing to say. But in that moment, you only have two reactions. You either fight or you flight, right? So you either react on the spot, in the spur of the moment, you know, seeing red, or sadly, some people, it takes them a minute, you know, just to actually digest what's just happened to them. Was that real? Also, this guy's famous. Like, did that just happen? If you're in a bar or a restaurant, that guy gets walked off. It's been and got, his interaction's gone. So it might just be the case that this gentleman has then seen him outside and been like, oh my gosh, now he's in a clearer frame of mind and just seen red and just gone for it. Do I condone his behavior? Absolutely not. Have I hit someone when they've inappropriately touched me? Absolutely yes.
I think we're also missing the fact that it was Andy Dick who has a pattern of doing this.
Yeah.
And I think that I liken it to someone who decides to drive drunk. It's never going to be the first time that you're going to get caught and you're going to face the consequences. It's going to happen over and over. And the more times that you find yourself in that cycle, the more egregious the consequences are going to be. And I just think that he finally met someone and got his egregious just desserts. Because I'll add a third F to what you just said. Flight fight, or freeze. A lot of us freeze in the moment because you just don't know what to do. I'm a person who will freeze, and then once I de-thaw, who knows what's going to happen. But at the same time, like, I can understand someone being like, you have violated me in a way that is not okay, and this is how I'm reacting. And sometimes that doesn't make any sense in the moment, but it happens.
Good points. All right, guys. A 15-year-old girl from Fresno, California has been arrested for allegedly posting a threatening Snapchat with a photo of a gun and a message, "Don't come to school tomorrow." Wow. The Fresno police say they were notified by the FBI at 5 a.m. on Thursday, and by 6:30 a.m., police were able to track down a home where officers were dispatched. When police got there, they spoke with the teen's aunt. While the teen was pulled out of class and met by authorities, they say the girl admitted to the post and has been charged with making a terroristic threat. Police also confiscated this pellet gun. Now, the times we live in right now, I might be going overboard here, but they need to make an example of this girl. I do want to applaud the FBI, the police, and Snapchat for acting so quickly. I'm always one to say, like, listen, we need to take cues from social media because people are putting it in their LP address or whatever it is, pinging off a tower. We know where these people are. So we got to work with these companies like Snapchat, and that's exactly what they did. So this gives me a sign of the future that maybe we are doing the right thing with this. But I think an example needs to be made of this girl because you can't do this in these heated times.
Well, Jeff, don't forget last week there was that young man, I think he's 26 or 27, put on tactical gear and walked into a Walmart right after the Dayton and El Paso shootings, like 2 or 3 days later, walked in there with an AR-15, I believe.
Right.
And he didn't shoot anybody. He just said he was conducting a social experiment, and he too was charged with making a terroristic threat. So I don't think you're going overboard, Jeff. I think we are overboard. We've been overboard for 2 or 3 years now. I think however we react, we cannot be judged at this point. We need to be a level 10 at all times.
Well, also, we need to know what happens to these people. I think that it's the right move not to show faces and name names when we're talking about people who commit violent mass attacks like this. But then you also have a dissociative thing that happens when you don't have an identity or a reason why. And then when you're younger, you don't think in terms of like having a fully developed brain. So you come up with all different things that could happen if this were the case. Clearly, if we weren't talking about a school shooting, then we'd be like, this is a girl, this is a cry for help. But because we're talking about a school shooting in the wake of so many mass shootings, it turns into a different thing. I think that simulation is really in order, having programs where they really walk you through actual case studies that kids can understand so that when they're speculating about the best way to get attention, they know that this is fully off limits, kind of like saying something like bomb in the airport.
Yeah, and that's a great point. We need to know, we need to follow up and see so other people, it's a deterrent for them.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, guys, DBL is live, and coming up, Elizabeth Smart's 64-year-old father comes out as gay. So what's next for this family that's gone through so much already? Then reinventing an old classic Hollywood squares is now hip-hop squares. The host of the game show reveals the celebs in the new season. And you, the viewer, are the fifth host. In this digital age, should parents have to ask their kids for permission before posting photos of them online? We're sharing your comments next.
Go on now.
Steph, you talked about today, and maybe you could talk to our audience about just obviously we have gun issues here. You said in England it's a knife issue.
Yeah, in England knife crime sadly is really high. It's rife because obviously we don't have guns in the same way as you guys do in America. It's very, very difficult to get your hands on a gun. But a blade is very accessible sadly, and that is like the weapon of choice for like the younger generation. It's awful.
Oh my goodness.
It's scary. But we were talking with our director this morning, and he was saying that in England, I mean, I've not seen this yet, so it's something I need to look into, but apparently there's like a campaign to try to reduce knife crime, but apparently the way in which it's been conducted has been really racist, or it's not quite worked. And it was apparently they were targeting chicken shops. So kind of like in England, we have loads of different chicken shops, like Popeyes or KFC, but unbranded, like, you know, local ones that families own or whatever. And apparently it was all in those particular shops that they had a lot of this, I don't know what it is, advertisement or knife crime awareness messages, which... and he said it didn't work. I've not seen it, so I don't actually know what the message is. But I must say that is stereotypically where a lot of young gang members hang out, in London anyway. So I don't know.
And they said it didn't work?
He just said he said it didn't work and that he didn't like the message and it appeared very racist to him. But I've not seen it, so I don't know.
Right.
I've not seen it yet.
Do you have a lot of friends that have been victims of knife, like muggings?
I nearly got stabbed. Someone tried to break into my house to stab me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, in London. Yeah, I had to move house. It was really scary.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, and we talk about what you're talking about. Parents who always post pics of their children online are being called sharenters. I hate that name. Some love the cute kid pics on their timeline, and some don't, obviously. Now, some experts say sharing these photos without the child's consent could be harmful or dangerous because of predators, and the future embarrassment can lead to bullying. So, DBL Nation, when is it okay to share photos of your children online, and should you ask them for permission first?
All right. Well, Janie from Facebook says, I'm a responsible parent and what I say goes, and I post what I want. Plus, my social media accounts are private. If someone is going to bully your child, they are going to bully your child. Janie, hey, it's your child, it's your family. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I think that's really what it comes down to. People have to do what works for them, makes them feel comfortable, and makes the safety of their children the most secure. It seems like you have a great handle on it, and as someone who has never birthed a child, I am not going to criticize you for it.
All right. Jerry from Facebook says, this is just another example of coddling our youth too much. They're my kids, and I won't post any pictures that could harm them. Jerry, I agree with you. In my situation, I'm chosen not to post my pictures on social media ever, just because, you know, I feel like I chose entertainment. They did not. My face and my voice goes out to a lot of people. I'm sure what my face and my voice has to say sometimes makes some people upset. And instead of coming after me, they might come after my kids. So I've decided to protect them, but I understand where you're coming from.
Great point, man.
Donna from Facebook says, I do think that other people want to see our children and grandchildren. With that, we should ask our kids first before posting. I think there's two separate issues here. So first of all, I think if you're posting a picture of your child, make sure it's appropriate. So do I want to see your child in the bath? Absolutely not. And that's something that I think will horrify them the minute they know what it is. Don't think it's appropriate. And second, it's lovely seeing children, other people's children at like milestones, so like, you know, their first day at school, or they're blowing their candles out on their birthday cake. Do I want to see your kid eating spaghetti or rolling around in the garden? No, not really. Everyone thinks their kid is like the cutest in the world, and to them obviously it is, but to everyone else, I don't want to see it. My Facebook feed is filled with that. I have to mute everyone. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, you got to mute them. I like how she said, I don't want to see it. Don't make me mute your kid. Now, I would want to see a kid eating spaghetti and rolling through a field. I would watch that, but not that. Yeah, the combination is kind of interesting.
Now.
All right, Terry from Facebook says, yes, at a certain age, you should start asking your kids permission. It'll teach them how to set boundaries early on. I totally agree with you. I post pictures of my kids. I think I'm muted from Steph. But, you know, me and my wife met on TV. I kind of felt like an obligation to share where our life is going with the public. But as they get older, I think I'm going to do that less and less, just because I don't want people coming up to my son, like Al said, I chose this business, not them, and pretending like they know him just through my my Instagram or social media feed. So it's a little weird. It's something that we're struggling with right now, but I apologize for the picture, Steph.
All right, then.
Coming up on DBL, sometimes the most annoying people in our lives are our significant others. We'll share our pet peeves. But first, we're getting the behind-the-scenes scoop on the VH1 game show, Hip Hop Squares. If you love Hollywood squares, guess what? This one's for you.
Hey guys, today I am going to be trying my first ever corn dog. I've never seen a corn dog, I've never smelled a corn dog, tasted a corn dog, ever. The only time I've really heard about a corn dog, I think, if I'm correct, was when Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman said, let's pop a squat and eat a corn dog. That might be completely incorrect. I'm sure you guys will write in and let me know. But let the corn dog commence. Okay, so this is my first look at a corn dog. It looks slightly questionable, but I'm gonna sniff it. It kind of smells like it should taste like a donut. Okay, it's not hot, so I'm just gonna go for it. Do I just bite in? Just bite in? Just bite in. Oh, you know what? That's all right. It tastes kind of a little sweet. It tastes like a hot dog with sweet, chewy bread. You know what? With a bit of ketchup, I would rate this quite highly. 7 out of 10. To all the corn dog lovers out there, I salute you and I join the club.
Welcome back to DBL. VH1 has re-envisioned the classic game show Hollywood Squares in exciting ways. I got a chance to sit down with comedian and host of Hip Hop Squares, my boy, Mr. D. Ray Davis, in today's Spotlight. Do me a favor, check it out. D. Ray Davis, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Having a blast on the daily, you know.
That's what I like to hear, man. You need to come out here to Denver and come on the show, man. You have an open invite here. You are family.
I appreciate it, man. I was mad I wasn't able to get out there, but we're moving the dates around, and with all the filming and everything, and including this, even including what I'm here for now, Hip Hop Squares, it's just Denver, man. I'm usually there once a year, and I missed it. I love it out there, too.
Obviously, you're famous from comedy, famous from movies, all that good stuff, but you were also famous, my brother, for dating 2 women. So what is the secret you can tell everybody to keep 2 women happy?
I'll say honesty is very important, you know, being honest about a lot of stuff. Honesty, because a lot of men lie about stuff.
That's true.
I think friendship is important. At the end of the day, as much as I've joked about it and portrayed like, oh, it's a play, I just do that for it. Realistically, man, women do what they want to do. There's no controlling them. You can't tell a woman what to do with their bodies. You can't tell a woman what to do. So all you can do is be receptive and be respectful. All of us lovingly know that we want each other to succeed in life more than anything.
I appreciate you, and I'm going to play what you just said for my girl. But let's get to the show that we came here to talk about. I'm excited about this.
And now, here's your host, D. Ray.
What guests are you most excited for this season on Hip Hop Squares?
I love when the boss is on there. Rick Ross, he's always, laid back. What up, what up, what up? Ice Cube and those guys. Of course, the ladies, man. You know I want to see the ladies, man. Why you asking me that? You see Eva walking, but Eva married, that's a married woman. I can't speak on the married women like that, man. Jordan Woods, of course, is beautiful. Ray J's there clowning.
Stop. Now take it to the other side.
Michael Blackson is there. Lil Duval is there. Danielle Harrington, have you seen Sports Illustrated? Come on, man.
I read Sports Illustrated for the articles, D. Ray.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant her interview.
We got you, man. Good luck. This show's gonna be a smash hit. But can't wait to see it on our TVs, man. Ladies and gentlemen, D. Ray Davis.
Al J, thanks, man.
You can catch Hip Hop Squares Tuesday nights on VH1. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration.
Hey everyone, welcome to Coming to America Snackable Edition for all the foodies out there. Today, hang on, let me take my knife and fork off. Today I am testing and trying for the very first time a Cinnabon. Cinnabon. It looks like a kind of pastry with, I'm guessing, cinnamon on it, some kind of white sticky sauce. Interesting. And this came in at around $5. $5? You can get a full meal in some places for $5. Like if you go to like, I don't know, KFC or Popeyes or Wendy's or somewhere, you can get like fries, burger, chips, same difference. You know, basically, I'm expecting a lot from this due to its cost, all right? I think that is quite pricey for a pastry. So I'm gonna use a knife and fork because it's a little bit gooey. I'm gonna look where looks the most. I'm just gonna try and go straight in for the middle. Let's just go straight in. Now it is a bit warm. Oh my gosh, look at this gooiness, wait. Look at that. I mean, it looks very moist. Let's get on in there. Okay, let's have a look. Oh my God, it's falling apart. Right, I've gone straight for the middle, the sweet spot. Okay, sniffing it, it does smell really nice. Smells very sweet, smells fresh. Okay, it is warm as well. Okay, upon the initial lick, I'm feeling it. Smooth and creamy. You know what, that's all right, that is. That is delightful. Oh, get a bit more of that sauce on. What is this sauce? Does anyone know what this sauce is? Just icing. Oh my gosh, this is fabulous. You know what, with a good cup of tea or a cup of coffee, as you guys would rather, this is really delicious. I love it. I don't think it'd be as good if it was cold. I think it needs to be warm to get the full experience. But you know what? My initial thought of $5 is too pricey. I actually take it back. I actually think this is really good. I think it's worth it. I really do. This is like you need to wake up with a cup of coffee or tea, and then it gets presented to you, and you're a bit hungover because you've been out the night before, and this would be a dream. This is better than a Twinkie. This is way better than a Twinkie. This is deliciousness. This is more decadent. This is decadence in its finest form. I mean, let's be honest, this isn't something you can eat every day. This is definitely like, you know, I feel like this is like having a piece of birthday cake. Like, it's really nice and delicious, but if you have this often, it's gonna be terrible for your heart and cholesterol. It's decadent, it's gooey and delicious. I rate it definitely a 10 out of 10. Don't have it every week though. I'll see you next time for another snackable edition coming to America style.
Welcome back to DBL. Honolulu police are on the hunt right now. Check this out. For the worst of the week, a woman was caught on surveillance video vandalizing a sand sculpture at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. You can see her climb over the barrier, then tear the sculpture's head off. She looks like she might be a little inebriated. And guess what? Tori Shulman's been on vacation all week.
That wasn't even right, Chuck. That was not even right. I don't know. I was really trying to figure out what bugs me so much about this other than this is just completely obnoxious. I think it's the fact that someone put their time and talents into making that for everyone to enjoy.
Yes, it's called the bartender. They put their time and talents into making that.
I'm talking about the sculpture.
Yes, I was talking about that bartender made that drunken woman.
Right, but then somebody comes in and has zero respect for someone's time, effort, and talents, and that really bothers me. Like, okay, first of all, clearly she has no respect for herself. Look how she's dressed. I'm being honest.
Yes.
I am being honest.
Look at the pigtails.
Oh, that would have been way better if she
That's
fell.
Baby Spice gone wrong, that is.
First of all, her friend is smoking a ciggy,
Thanks,
filming
Taylor.
her inside. So that tells you what kind of clientele we're dealing with.
I don't feel like her
disappointed for the
friend's
artist.
filming her, you know, like encouraging her, egging her on. I hope she has to pay for it.
How have the police not caught this woman?
Oh, she's gonna get hers.
There we go, Jeff.
Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Elizabeth Smart's dad comes out of the closet at 64 years old. We'll tell you what's next for the family. Then, what annoys you the most about your significant other? We'll share our pet peeves. And it's New Music Friday! Taylor's new love song. Can we always breakup jam. Once upon a time it was We'll play them and tell you what we really think when DBL comes back.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here, and Chris and I saw Good Boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't even know like how to start this. It's about a group of 12-year-old boys who one of them really wants to go to a kissing party, and there's a lot of melee along the way. It involves drones, it involves drugs, and it involves a lot of stuff that I don't think 12-year-olds should be into, but I know they're into, and I'm kind of freaked out because I don't want to think about my future kids being like this, but they are.
Pulls back the curtain.
So like, were boys like growing up, were boys really like that?
It's also about the pursuit of drugs by high schoolers or college students? High schoolers.
High schoolers, yeah.
Yes, the pursuit of drugs.
It's kind of like a social commentary, I'd say, because I feel guilty for having fun the entire time.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I was like, this is pretty funny. But it has a lot to say. And I have to say my favorite part is that the boys were really respectful of women. I don't know if that was meant to be a joke in it, but I really liked that they are really enforcing that in movies these days. But what did you think of it?
Well, I mean, that part of it, I think, was just really showing off the difference in education in public schools today as to when we were kids. So all the boys were like, do I have consent before I kiss you? Before he got his first kiss? And, you know, but they did poke fun at the short-term relationships of middle school. So there's just flashing from one girlfriend to another. He's crying. It's the best. But yeah, the movie was great. Just a lot of, I would say, if you like South Park, if you like grotesque, raunchy humor, you'll love this movie.
It's a lot of that.
So if you're looking for a movie to go out to see, you're going on a date on a weekend night, you want to laugh, this is the one.
You kind of described it as like a modern day.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live. Let's get started, guys. Elizabeth Smart's father, Ed, is coming out as gay now. He's 64, divorcing his wife and leaving the Mormon church. As you recall, his daughter Elizabeth was kidnapped when she was 14 and held captive for 9 months. Ed wrote a Facebook post that now has been deleted, saying, "The decision to be honest and truthful about my orientation comes with its own set of challenges, but at the same time, it is a huge relief." Now, this has got to be hard for him. I mean, what his daughter went through is unimaginable. I can't even imagine what that family went through. So maybe to me, it comes off, I hope he had this conversation with his daughter first and foremost, but like, he went through so much, and maybe he's like, you know what, life's short. I just want to be happy, and I'm just going to do this for me. So that's what I think happened.
You know, I think that it's a coincidence that I don't think it has anything to do with Elizabeth. I think that this is something that a lot of people are coming to terms with right now, especially people of that age, because they weren't free to be who they were. They could have been killed or lost everything that they had as a result of coming out, and therefore, knowingly or unknowingly, they decided to do what was expected of them. Get married to a person of the opposite sex, raise a family, go into the sunset. Now this is a person who has decided that he wants to be his most authentic self. A lot of people are coming to terms with that. But he also has a spouse of many decades who also has to redefine her life. So this is a very complicated matter, but they are not alone by any means, and I wouldn't even say that it's a small percentage of people.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I think, this is like such a huge thing. And I think obviously our generation now, we're a lot more exposed to this. We have much more media and people talk about it way more often. And it's not a taboo subject anymore. But sadly, for some people in different parts of the world, it is. You can lose your life. You can get stoned to death for being gay. You can have your hands chopped off for being gay. So this, obviously,
also
he's
the
come from
Mormon
very
Church. Right.
Obviously his religion,
heavy,
it's a really big deal, and I think he should be really proud and happy. And you know what? You've only got one life. If you feel like you can, and hopefully you've got good friends, good family around you, do what makes you happy. Be who makes you happy.
Right. Yeah. I only say change because it is going to change, not in a bad way. It is going to change everyone's dynamic that they have in the family. It's a change, and again, not a bad change. She's just been through so much. Is she ready for another change, another shift in direction? That's all. It's a unique situation.
I would like to hope that she's been through so much that she thinks, you know what? Everyone just live your best life. Be who you are. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, guys. We've got an update to a story we brought you earlier this month. America's Got Talent judge Julianne Hough isn't bothered by labels. You remember she told Women's Health magazine that she's, quote, not straight. That's when people started labeling her as either lesbian or bisexual. And she says people will define or label anything and everything in this world, so I'm not mad at people who do that. It is what it is. All right, labels. People like to put labels on everything nowadays.
Well, people like to put labels on things because it makes us feel comfortable. Like when we know that this fits into a certain lane, then we can move on to the next thing that we're going to label. No, seriously.
It's true.
But for me, I do think, we all have obviously had our fair share of labels or been labeled different things. And I actually use it as insight into who I'm speaking with or who's in front of me. If someone labels me as something, then it also indicates where they're coming from. And sometimes you don't get that in any other form, so you have to use context clues. And I think labeling is a really defining context clue.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember the labels are the way people get through life, and it makes it easy thing. Somebody sees Jeff, oh, it's a straight white guy. I know how you feel about everything.
Right.
They really don't. Because honestly, if they met Jeff and they met myself, we finish each other's sentences like an old married couple. Like you don't understand the dynamic until you meet somebody and understand where they're from. You look at Erica, she's married, but you don't know. I don't know your life. When you told me about your life, I almost fell out of my chair because you don't know until you talk to somebody. But talking to somebody takes effort. So a lot of times people take the easy way. It's just like, oh, it's a black girl. You know what she's going to say. You don't.
No.
It's a great point.
I agree. I echo everything you said.
Well, you know that Brit.
Those British people. I don't know what they're thinking.
Terrible.
All right, guys, this is a great story. Stephen Colbert leaves comedy at the door to have a serious discussion. He stopped by Anderson Cooper's show last night to talk about grief. Colbert lost his father, if you guys didn't know, and two of his brothers in a plane crash when he was just 10 years old. I can't even imagine. You remember Anderson's mother, Gloria Vanderbilt, passed away in June, and Anderson gets choked up about it. Let's watch.
You went on to say, what punishments of God are not gifts? Do you really believe that? Yes. It's a gift to exist. And with existence comes suffering. There's no escaping that.
And that's the truth. I'm lucky enough to still have my parents and, close people around me. But I can't imagine what he went through. And this is life, you know what I mean? We all have to go through this, but Stephen Colbert is a polarizing guy, to some people, depending on what side of the aisle you're on. And this makes him more relatable to me. Like, listen, he goes through hard times. He's a human being. He's doing his job on television. You don't have to, what we just said, label him as a certain guy. Have some sympathy for this guy. Have some sympathy for what Anderson Cooper went through. And I think if everyone looked at people with more sympathy, this would be a way better world.
I loved his message, though, as well, because sometimes, there's two options, isn't there? You can play victim to things that happen to you, and you can sit and dwell on that and be very depressed and never move on from a certain thing that happened in your life, or you can actually take ownership of it and think, how is this going to make me a better person? How am I going to learn from this? How can I help and inspire others from something terrible that has happened to me? And I think that's what he's trying to say. And it makes you think, like, when all these really hard times happen to you, whether it's a death, whether it's something physical that happens to you or someone that you love, it's at those times that it really makes you a stronger, braver and a better person. And I genuinely believe that. And I think it only then contributes to everyone, but it's the attitude that you take on those things, and whether you dwell on it or whether you embrace it.
I think that's exactly.
I mean, just losing your father and your brothers like that, he could be telling that same story falling off the end of a bar. You know, at the same age he is now, like, hey, the reason my life tanked is because of this. And everybody be like, hey, get that guy around. But instead, he took that tragedy and figured out a way to make it funny. He's figured out a way to spread joy to people. So I think that should not be overlooked.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. All right, guys, let's cheer it up a little bit. Erica, what day is it? It's new music. What, Erica?
Friday!
All right, let's start off with Miley Cyrus' heartbreak song only days after her split from Liam Hemsworth. There are rumors the two have been separated for months now. This is a clue, and it seems her new song, Slide Away, is all about their downfall. Let's listen.
Well, that's a coinky dink.
Right?
Yeah.
Yesterday it came out from her camp that Liam had a drinking and drug problem. And then she came out with this song that was like less than 24 hours.
Wow.
The girl is good.
That is a coincidence.
Some of the lyrics in that song, she says, I'm tired of the whiskey and the pills, and I miss my home in the Malibu hills, or whatever she's saying.
So, I mean, we know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, well, she's talking about the awful fires, right? When they did lose their home.
Well,
I didn't think about that.
Of course that, but also because her camp came out and said that he had a problem with the pills and the drinking, and that's why they broke up.
I mean, obviously by the time we're all talking about it, they've already lived it, they've already moved on, you know, it's now public knowledge. But I just think, gosh, it's so soon, no? A bit of sensitivity.
Do you think it's like a bad look for her to do this, to write a song about somebody, especially if we're talking about somebody with addiction issues that not technically, it is a disease?
I think that for me, it speaks to consistency. I mean, she is clearly a performer. She expresses herself through her music, through her art. That's going to happen in the good times and the bad times, and she's been very consistent in doing that throughout the span of her career. You have to know, it's like a Taylor Swift who's coming up. You have to know that if you're involved in her life, you're going to be involved and you're going to receive praise in the good times, and you might feel a little bit of rebuke in the bad times.
But what if he says it's not a bad time, I have a disease?
Well, yeah, but then also there has been stuff coming out about her as well. Right. So it's almost like to even it out. I don't know. It's not right, but at the same time, I'm not going to come down hard on her for doing what she's always been doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Tay-Tay, from a breakup to pure romance, Taylor Swift's new album, Lover, doesn't drop until next week, but she gifted fans the title track, making everyone think she's engaged. What do you think, Steph? Listen up.
What, Jeff?
I don't know. I was trying to pump up the story. It stunk.
That song was horrendous. When would you listen to that? When would you listen to that?
This is the third time I'm hearing it, and it's like, you know.
Erica, give me a scenario in which you would be listening to that song.
In my she shed.
Oh,
my creative process, Taylor comes in.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm writing in my journal.
That song.
So if anyone doesn't
don't have one, you're not going to.
People might not know, Erica's got a studio at her house. In case they're like, what on earth's the she shed?
The she shed, you know, like
it's
Cheryl,
very cool.
Somebody burned down my she shed.
I was just going to say, if you don't know what it is, there's a commercial out right now about the she shed.
Oh, it's like an Allstate commercial or something.
Yeah.
Nobody burned down my she shed.
Yeah, stay away from the she shed.
Yes.
All right. We got through that very difficult topic. We have a very serious question for you, DBL Nation. You ready? How often do you change your underwear? An underwear company surveyed 1,000 people, and 45% said they wear the same pair for 2 days or longer.
No.
Oh, hell no. That's
not true. So we got to hear from you guys. Hit us up at dblvote.com. Let us know what you think. 45%. This is why surveys are stupid.
Okay, I'm going to mess up this whole chart. I change my underwear 3 times a day.
3 times a day?
Yes, consistently, because you wear your underwear to the gym, and then you take a shower, so you change that.
Right.
Then I wear my underwear to work,
your day
and
underwear.
I take a shower, and then I have my night underwear.
Wow.
I don't hate that
much.
I don't hate that.
I agree with Erica. Not every day, though.
Isn't that what you do? Like,
you shower when you get home, too?
I shower before I get in bed because I wear my flip-flops, which I'm not going to stop wearing flip-flops, but my feet are like black at the end of the night, and I'm not going to put my black feet into my bed.
Yeah.
See, I got the two because I work out, and I have workout underwear versus work power underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got great work underwear.
Now, I've definitely got 3 types, like Erica said. There's definitely like the gym underwear,
But you don't wear them 2 days in a row.
No, I change every time you go to the gym. You gotta change your underwear. Like you have to.
And it's summertime. We know what happens, you know.
And then like work underwear, you have to change for work. And then obviously you've got like your sexy underwear, haven't you? When you go on like date night or whatever. I mean, you're gonna wear a different type of underwear than you wear to the gym. Let's be real.
No.
I mean, Jeff has got some crazy boxers. Okay, this just makes it sound like I've seen Jeff's underwear, but obviously we all share a changing room at times. It happens. You've got some crazy ones with prints and patterns and all sorts going on.
We're always running. Yeah, but I get strength from my underwear.
Yeah.
If I have good underwear on, I get.
Jeff, you've actually put me onto some underwear.
See,
yeah,
buddy?
I'm a big underwear guy. Now, do you guys have a pair of underwear that if you know you're wearing them, you need to wash your underwear because it's the last pair? I have a pair of goofy underwear that I got as a joke, and so when I'm wearing those, I'm like, oh, I don't have any more clean underwear.
No.
You guys don't have an emergency pair of underwear?
We do regular laundry.
You've seen my gold trophy guy underwear. You've seen those.
Like, why do y'all act like we all see each other in our underwear?
How often do you change your underwear? What does it say? 58% say every day.
Well, I hope you change your underwear every day.
Look at second place, 19%. What about
I'm not confused about the people that say there's 9% of you lot that are writing into a TV show saying you change your underwear once a week.
Yeah, but Stephanie, look at the last one. It says,
Who even put it as a choice?
You?
Once a week?
Once a week, 9%.
At that point, you might as well not change them because they
Arash
stuck
really
to you
wanted
anyway.
the no underwear one, and you ran right through it.
Well, I'm sorry, Arash, as our producer. It doesn't all work all one way, love, does it? 9% of people out there are roaming around with underwear 1 week old. We need to address this as a nation.
She's got a point, Arash. She's got a point. Coming up on DBL, love and support go a long way, especially in times of crisis. We'll show you how a community got behind a man after he lost the love of his life. And we go over the most annoying habits that get under people's skin and share our pet peeves that our partners are guilty of when we come back.
I'm just gonna start this out real quick. We do not run around in our underwear. So just everybody just calm down. I'm gonna shut it down right now. We're not even gonna talk about it anymore. Just calm yourself.
Here's the thing. Our changing room is as big as this stage for 8 people.
It's small.
It's a little
and
bigger.
also, just
I don't know. It's about
just to
and that's
clarify.
that's not even the changing room. That's the whole room.
Yeah, but
Didn't I say we gonna stop having this conversation?
Just to clarify, we all have one little shelving thing. We all have a shelf, and we cannot see what's in everyone's shelves.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Didn't I say we're gonna stop talking about this?
So now we're gonna stop talking about it.
No, we have to clarify what's going on.
No.
Everyone thinks we're running around in their underwear.
Erica's like, please take off.
I assure you.
We have a little curtain that goes like this, and sometimes you don't close the curtain all the way.
So, anywho, yes.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So apparently, there are some different ways that people go about changing their underwear. I respect the process. However, I do think that if you are a parent, you should not have your children repeating behaviors like leaving your underwear on for a very long period of time, because especially for young girls, it's not good for them.
No, it's not.
That's all I have to say.
Erica's right. It's very true.
I don't think it's good for anybody to leave your underwear on for a long time.
It's not, but it's worse.
I get it. All right, well, we tackled some taboo topics right
Yeah,
there.
we did.
Welcome back to DBL. A woman's rant about her husband's annoying habit is going viral. Any guesses what it is? Anybody?
No.
This is a good one, though.
Not changing his underwear?
Squeezing toothpaste from the middle of the tube and not the bottom. That's true, and that is annoying. The anonymous wife took to the website Mumsnet to reveal her rage. Oh, let's talk about it, but first we're going to look at some other ones. Oh, we're not. We're just going to jump right in. All right. Well, let's talk about it. What annoys us.
What annoys you, Erica? What does Anthony do that makes your blood boil?
It doesn't make my blood boil, but Anthony has inappropriate PDA times. Like, he doesn't understand that sometimes it's not like the best time for PDA. So it just happened recently at the gun range. He decided that he was going to try to kiss me. And I'm like, we're at the gun range. I'm super nervous. People are like watching through the glass, and you're over here trying to make out with me and range number 11 or whatever. Like, that's not okay. Then we've been at funerals.
Everyone could relate.
Where he will try to pat my bum, but sometimes he gets a little too out of control and it actually makes a sound. And we were at a funeral and he pat my bum and it made a sound and it was super embarrassing. So he does not understand when PDA is okay and when it's not.
I love it.
That's how you make a funeral fun. First 3 letters.
Erica.
Trying to wake the dead with that smack.
Go on, Al. What about you?
I think just a long showers. You know, a lot of times when you have reservations and you're like, I'm out of the bathroom, 7 o'clock. Now it's 7:51 and you're just kind of coming out and you're still wet. I'm upset because you're going to mess the reservations up. You're going to throw the whole night off. So just like, let's shorten the shower time, ladies. Shorten the shower time.
Well, maybe you should make the reservation for when you know she's actually going to be ready.
Or maybe you say it's for 7.
I love how it's our fault.
Yeah. I'm sorry for wanting to eat dinner at 8 o'clock. I'm a psychopath. That's when most people decided that's what we've all kind of agreed on.
Oh, Lord.
How about you? Anything annoy you?
Okay, so my old boyfriend, when we lived together in London, right, this used to drive me freaking wild. He used to go in the kitchen and every single drawer, every single cupboard, the fridge, everything would be left open. Just close the drawer. Please, dear God, just close the drawer. Every single drawer. I go into the bedroom and the drawers were open. Like, I go into the bathroom, the cabinets. Like, what is wrong with you? Can you not just shut things, please? It drove me.
So you could just tell where he's been in the house by the drawers.
Every single one.
Just map his day out.
I just don't understand how you can't just shut it.
Are you sure that your house wasn't haunted?
It was
because
him.
I hear poltergeists do that.
I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes. He's terrible. Don't do it to your women, men. Don't do it.
Wow.
Drove me crazy.
Anything real quick Jordan does?
Yeah, just she leaves leftover like water. Like if she's got a cup and there's like that much water like in here, she'll put it in the fridge. Wow. Like, if there's one like piece of chicken, she'll save it for later, like put it in Tupperware.
You
like,
guys living like doomsday preppers.
Just throw it away.
Yeah. All right,
I mean?
Save everything.
Oh God, I'll take pictures. I have taken pictures. I got a list. Goes on and on. I'm sure she does too. We'll be right back.
Hey Beauty Blasters, welcome back for another great episode of Beauty Blast. I'm Jure for the Slay, and today I'm talking about one of my new favorite products for dry skin. Yes, I know, who doesn't want dry skin? Everyone doesn't want dry skin. What am I saying? Dry skin is probably one of the worst things that you can have when it comes to makeup. I'd almost rather have oily skin than dry skin when I'm applying my makeup. However, it affects a lot of us, especially when it comes to dry climate, harsh summers, or sometimes even a harsh winter. And that's why I like to go ahead and switch up my primers throughout these times of the year. This helps to make sure that we're not gonna see that dry, rough skin throughout the day, and instead we'll see a silky, smooth, delicate cheekbone. Now, for a beautiful hydrated look, one of my favorite new tips is to use a hydrating primer. This guy right here is from First Aid Beauty, and my friends down at Fab kind of hooked us up this week, so shout out to y'all. Now this guy is the Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Primer. It's oil-free, and it's going to be hydrating your skin unbelievably. Sometimes I don't even wear makeup with this. I just wear it by itself because my skin looks good with it, okay? Now with this guy, it does have colloidal oatmeal in it, and it actually has a powerful
powerful humectant called, once again, hyaluronic acid that helps to boost your hydration and give you that extra moist finish on your skin. Yes, girl, I said an extra moist finish. Get into it. Now, along with those great ingredients, it has colloidal oatmeal, and it actually has many pearls in it that help to burst into brightening effects onto your skin so you have a beautiful glow that lasts all day. One of my favorite finishes with this is that it actually has a very soft, natural cucumber scent that helps to make you feel and look fresh all day.
DBL, now today's Heart Threads is all about community. Watch the outpour of love one man received after the death of his partner.
After this radio DJ lost the love of his life, his listeners flooded him with support. Blake Hayes had been with his partner Cal Fair for 4 years.
We're gonna be together for a long time, like we just knew that.
Cal died suddenly from a rare condition called aortic dissection. Blake decided to be open about his loss with his listeners. He even hosted a special show to discuss what he was going through.
I hope that because we talk about this process on the radio, that other people see that care, that support, that good in humanity.
Cards and well wishes have poured in from fans.
I hope no one else ever has to experience that. But I wish everyone could experience what happened after, which was like this just giant hug.
It's all about community. We'll be right back.
Viewer of them doing something very special. So I think they've got it. So you watch out at the end of the show and we're going to have a very exciting announcement. It's going to be fun.
There's only one on
Stay
here.
tuned. We've had a really funny comment from TY on Facebook saying, speaking of underwear, my girl leaves her dirty clothes all over our room. It drives me nuts. Yeah, I do that. You know what? I leave clothes. That's my bad habit. I leave clothes all over.
It's free?
It's awful. Like, you should go in my wardrobe. It's a mess. Like, all the clothes are like half hanging up, half on the floor.
Why not?
I'm awful. What would you say people say is your worst habit, Al?
But the best part is look what they're watching.
I know.
I'm pretty clean. I used to be late a lot. I used to be late a lot.
Well,
yeah,
great to
I
hear.
started.
Exciting announcement
I started
on
putting
Monday show.
Instagram phone reminders.
On the DBL panel,
changed my life. People really don't like it when you're late. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's like people take it like showing up 15, 20 minutes late. Like not cool, man. So yeah, I fixed that.
Yeah.
So you want me to hold it
really
up?
fixed that.
Yes,
But
to what camera?
I can't think that you've done anything stuff that would really anger somebody.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're very easygoing.
I think I am pretty easygoing. I'm just.
Yeah,
It's more like I don't leave dirty
I'll put it right
clothes.
here.
I leave clean clothes. So like I'll wash my clothes
Okay.
and then I take them to like my wardrobe, but then I don't always hang them up. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what my bad habits are.
That's the worst thing. I mean, I don't hang my clothes
I definitely am bad with clothes. That's for sure.
I don't hang my clothes up. That's not my thing. I'm not good at that.
Jeff, what would you?
Don't we have his full screen
don't
of
ask
it?
Jeff. Don't ask Jeff. He's stressing out right now. We're stressing out over the special
Don't
surprise.
stress.
Let's just show the full screen.
We're going to show both, but I want to show that's actually on a phone.
All right.
Panic.
We're going to go to
Panic.
the full screen.
Yes.
Welcome back to DBL. An exciting announcement about Monday's show. Cameron Matheson will guest host on the DBL panel. You know him from All My Children and Home and Family on the Hallmark Channel. Don't miss Cameron's DBL Take on Monday. I'm super excited about that. But quickly before we go, look what we found on Craigslist. It's a free TV here in the Denver area, and look what they're selling on here. This is real.
Wait, zoom on in. Wait, go up. That's it.
It's a free TV, and look what they're watching. Daily Blast Live.
That's Sam Shocker and Jen.
Look at that. It's right in the Denver area. There's the full screen. You guys want a TV from 1955? Go on and get yourself a free TV. It's got DBL coming in loud and clear.
I love it.
We'll see you guys on Monday, same time, same place. Have a great weekend, everybody. That's it for us.